And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to another year of Cassville Wildcat football here on the Talent Sports Network. We're glad to be along with you tonight. The Wildcats open up the 2022 schedule on the road in Hollister. They are here taking on the Tigers. Had some rain earlier this evening. It looks like a lot of it has moved off to the south and the west. Had a little lightning as well, and we are going to be delayed. Instead of starting at 7 o'clock, the kickoff is now set for around 7:15. But it looks like the storms are clearing out. It's going to leave behind a bit of a muggy night here to open up the 2022 schedule. But hopefully the rain is out of the area and we won't be having to deal with weather issues anymore here throughout the evening. They are going to have the national anthem and the prayer before tonight's contest as we're getting closer and closer. We're kind of jumping into the middle of things, so we're going to take a quick break, let you hear from our sponsors, and be back with more of the Mercy Hospital pregame show here on the Talon Network. Welcome back to Hollister. The Cassville Wildcats opening up the season on the road, taking on the Hollister Tigers. Big 8 crossover game. Hollister in the Big 8 East, Cassville in the Big 8 West. And we're glad to be with you for another season of Cassville High School football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper alongside Jeremy Marple. We've got our cameraman Todd Speakman as well on CassvilleWebTV.com. And we are going to jump right into the Mercy Hospital pregame show. It's brought to you by Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where your life is their life's work. We're down to about 10 or 12 minutes before tonight's opening kickoff. They had a delay because of some lightning issues down here in Taney County. But the sun is out shining now, and the rain has moved off, and it looks like we're going to be able to get this game started just a few minutes late. I know some of our other broadcasts may be close to 30 minutes behind because of some storminess activity. They had originally said it was just going to be some light showers here and there, but it turned into some deluges and downpours. I mean, there was rain coming down on 65 where you couldn't hardly see. Few little flickers of lightning that have caused the delays. We've got Monette at Reed Spring, not too far from where we're at here in Hollister. I'm sure they were dealing with the weather issues. And then Aurora is at home against Seneca. Now that far north, they might not have quite the delays, but still dealing with some weather issues here in week number 1. But it is exciting to get high school football started again here in the area. The summer has just flown by. It doesn't really seem like we should be already doing this, but here we are, week number 1. The practices, the jamborees are all in the past now, and we're getting ready for football. And you and I begin our 20th year together covering Cassville Wildcat football. We thought we hit 20 last year, but we had to do some recalculation. I was ahead on the numbers, but here we go, and another year of Wildcat football is upon us.
You know, when you've been doing it as long as you and I, our memories aren't quite as good as they used to be, but I think we look exactly the same as we did 20 years ago.
And our eyesight maybe not quite as good.
I guarantee you that. That's in all aspects. But, yeah, I'm excited that we're going again. And what is neat about the beginning of every football season is, yeah, we see the rosters. We remember the guys that played last year, but it's the guys that are coming in new that we're not real familiar with. So the first couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks of the season, you and I, we're learning this team too. And that's what makes it exciting. It's what's exciting about high school football is the rotation. and the new kids stepping into big roles.
Even some guys we did call their name a year ago on the offensive defensive line. Cassville went through some injury problems, so guys were getting plugged in for a game and then getting taken back out. So those guys that got some experience, maybe a little taste of it last year, they're the guys that may be the full-time starters this year. So it'll be fun to see them now that they're in a full-time role instead of a part-time role.
You're exactly right. We talk about it every year, and a lot of times, you know, in situations where you're in a football game and it's kind of lopsided, when you see those younger guys get a chance to come in on a Friday night, hey, that's just different than playing on a Tuesday night or a Monday night. Coming in on a Friday night and play in front of that crowd, the experience you get from that, there's just nothing that compares to it.
Looking at this year's schedule for Cassville, they will be opening up here tonight at Hollister, and then they are home for the next 2 weeks in weeks 2 and 3 against Aurora and Seneca. Then they go back out on the road at East Newton, come back home September 23rd to take on McDonald County. Then they got back-to-back road games, Nevada and Springfield Catholic. Then they come home to play Lamar. That's their final regular season home game. And then they close out the regular season. The Berry County Brawl this year has been moved to week number 9. It was always in the middle of the season, but now they've moved it to right before district play, and this year's Berry County Brawl will be at Monette taking on the Cubs.
Yeah, we are kind of road warriors this year, but that's okay. Friday night comes, you go, you take care of business, and get ready for next week.
We talked about Seneca at Aurora tonight, Monette at Reed Spring, the other Big 8 games, McDonald County at Mount Vernon, East Newton, Rogersville, Nevada at Springfield Catholic, and Lamar at at Marshfield. Those will be the other Big 8 games here in week number 1. Again, we're here with the Mercy Hospital pregame show, Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where quality care matters. And we're going to jump into tonight's field condition report. And we did have the rain, but it wasn't enough to cause any issues. They have artificial surface here at Hollister, so you don't have to worry about the mud. If we would have got some rain right here on the field like we ran into up around Highlandville, there may be some standing water they're having to push off of that turf, but they didn't get quite the downpour here in Hollister, so the field looks gorgeous. It's ready to go. Tonight's field condition report brought to you by Security Insurance. What condition is your insurance in? Are you covered for the hazards of weather or losses unexpected? Call Security Insurance in Cassville at 847-8384. And, of course, Hollister's had the artificial surface down here on their football field for a while, and it's a beautiful facility.
Oh, it certainly is. A great place to play football, and expect it to play nice and fast tonight.
Well, tonight's Wildcat Keys to Victory is brought to you, as always, by Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville. Mark Whittemeyer and the crew at Wesco Home Furnishings are looking forward to another great season of Wildcat football, and just like the quality portrayed by each Wildcat player on the field, they offer that same quality merchandise and customer service. Well, I think one of the keys is execution. You got a lot of new guys stepping up into full-time varsity roles. You got some new faces that'll be both in the defense and the offense for Cassville. So execution of plays is going to be key tonight if the Wildcats want to pick up a road win.
No, you're absolutely right. I think a big key in this football game, it's the first game of the season, you're on the road, is limiting. You're not going to eliminate them, but limiting those early season jittery mistakes, get the butterflies out. Try to play. Start off with a clean quarter, clean half, clean second half. So limiting the early. I call them early season blunders.
Well, we're going to jump into the starting lineups, and there have been some changes to this lineup that I got from Coach Weldy back earlier in the week because there was, unfortunately, a couple of instances where some players are not going to be able to start tonight due to things that happened during the week in practice with injuries and the like. So there's going to be a little tinkering to this. We're going to go over what we had for the most part from Coach Weldy back on Tuesday and Wednesday. And the Wildcat starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip, 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today. New quarterback for the Wildcats, Bodie Rose, the sophomore, will get the start under center, a 5'10", 160-pound sophomore. Hernan Hernandez will be one wide out, a 5'8", 175 senior. And Garrett Ewing, a 5'6", 140 junior. He was one of the players that may have got dinged a little bit, so we'll see what happens with him. Coming out of the backfield, you got Bryson Jacobson, 6'1", 170 junior. And we'll see what transpires for Jake Anthony's 5'8", 165 senior if he's able to go.
Well, he's in street clothes, so it's not happening.
All right. Well, you've already spotted him over there, so he is out of the backfield. Isaac Hadlow will be the tight end, 6', 200-pound senior. And the offensive line has also got some issues. Joseph Ryder, 5'10", 200-pound junior, will be the center. But then the rest of the offensive line, Ethan Lamborn, 6'1", 230 senior. Nick Fierro, 6', 200 sophomore. Austin Revelorio, 6'1", 230 senior. And we had heard maybe Christian Tidwell had some injury issues, but we'll see, 5'9", 235 senior for him. The Wildcat starting lineup, again, brought to you by Fast Trip. Whether it's for fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, or snacks, they have it all and at the very best prices. Fast Trip, 104 South Main in Cassville. We're going to take another break as we're closing in closer and closer to the start of tonight's football game. They're going to have the coin toss, so we'll go ahead and mention that real quick before we go to the break. Tonight's coin toss brought to you by Clark Mental Health Center. They have offices in Dade, Berry, and Lawrence counties. You can find out more by going to clarkmentalhealth.com to find the phone number for services in your area. Clark Community Mental Health Center, moving forward, improving lives and communities through compassion and care. Back with more of the Mercy Hospital pregame show right after this. Role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are winners and are vital to preserving our fine sports traditions. So the next time you attend a high school event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care with offices in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. Cassville won the toss, and they have deferred their option to the second half, so they'll be kicking off to start tonight's game. The Hollister Tigers and their high-powered offense will get the ball first here this evening. Cassville in the road white jerseys with black helmets and black pants. Hollister in the home blue jerseys with blue helmets and white pants. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. Let Michael's in Cassville quarterback your project with the right tools and supplies for the job. Michael's Hardware. Friendly folks, serious hardware. We've got back for Hollister. I think that's 21, if I can see right, which I wouldn't swear to it. Grant Jones. And Peter Littlefield will be kicking off for the Wildcats. Tonight's kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash with the new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic. A clean car is a happy car. That's what you get every time at Baywash. High kick down inside the 10, fielded at the 6 by the return man over on the right hash. He'll bring it up the hash and takes it out across the 20, out close to the 25 before he is upended. And the return man was Ty Bertrand for Hollister. And the Tigers will start out 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Opening kickoff, great way to get rid of some of those butterflies you experienced before the game. We'll see our first look here at this Wildcat defense.
Hollister a year ago went 6-4, and that was the most wins in a single season in school history for the Hollister Tigers. They started off, though, 4-1, and then they had a rough second half, but they do get their starting quarterback and their leader in yardage back from a year ago, and we're talking about Luke Kalovich, the quarterback, and Blake Russell, their offensive back. Kalovich takes the snap, looking to throw, fires it over the middle, and it's in and out of the hands of Blake Russell on a quick slant out around the 30, but he couldn't hang on to the football.
Yeah, quick slant right there, trying a little quick hitter to get things going.
Kalovich a year ago threw for over 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns. Russell had 600-plus yards receiving, and he also ran for over 1,600 yards for the Tigers. Both all-conference performers a year ago in the Big 8 East.
And when you get a couple of players like that back on your offense, it sure helps things move along.
So 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass on the first play of the night. Kalovich again from the shotgun, fakes the handoff underneath, throws it down the line, and it's tipped up in the air off of the fingertips of Talon Rankin. And just like that, it's 3rd and 10.
Once again, just a quick hitter. This time, quarterback opening up, firing right down the line of scrimmage. And just another instance, I believe, both of these receivers just trying to make something happen before they secure that football.
So a big 3rd down play early on here on the opening drive for the Hollister Tigers. Just underway. We got started about 15 minutes after 7 because of the lightning delay, but we are playing football, and the sun is actually trying to peek out from under the clouds here. The humidity has definitely picked up now that the rain has moved out as well. First 3rd down situation of the night. Hollister inside their own 30-yard line. Cassville coming with a 4-man rush. They fake the handoff, and Kalovich looking to throw. He launches it out into wide open territory, and a dropped pass by, it was Noah Richardson. He was open for the 1st down and looked to turn and run upfield before he secured the football.
Yeah, big-time pressure that time. He was fortunate to get the pass away, but that's 3 drops. 3 pass attempts, 3 drops by his wide receiving corps.
So Hollister is forced to punt. And the Wildcats send back Bodie Rose, and it looks like Hernan Hernandez to receive. After the rain moved out, the wind is nearly non-existent, so they don't have to worry about that. A good high kick fielded by Hernandez at his own 40-yard line, and he'll bring it up the Cassville sidelines. Gets to the edge. He's across the 45, inside the 40, and raced out of bounds down around the 30-yard line. Great return by Hernandez, and has Cassville set up in Hollister territory.
Yeah, really nice job right there in the return game. Your special team's so important, Sammy, and right here the Wildcats fielding that punt. Hernandez racing from his left to his right down that Wildcat sideline. Great return. And great starting field position for this Wildcat offense.
Looks like they put it down at the Hollister 32. And Cassville's offense out on the field for the first time tonight. Bodie Rose, the sophomore quarterback, takes the snap, gives it off to Jacobson. Jacobson trying to get to the edge, and he's tripped up at the 30-yard line and dives down to about the 27. It'll be a gain of 4, maybe 5 yards. Looks like they put it between the 27 and the 28, so a 4-yard pickup, 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, Wildcats trying to run off the left edge right there. Defensive end, Noah Richardson getting into the legs of Jacobson, or that one could have made it to the sideline for a big gain.
Rose back up under center, split backfield behind him, and he is going to run the football. Big hole over the right side. He's inside the 25, keeps his feet and takes it inside the 20 and picks up a Wildcat 1st down. Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. Superior Metal sales in Cassville. They're your first in metal roofing. Look them up on Facebook or YouTube and request a free quote.
A really nice read that time by the young quarterback, going to his right, put his foot in the ground. Downfield he went, picked up a 1st down. Wildcats got great field position out of the special teams. This offense needs to answer, put some points on the board.
Just a couple of minutes gone here in the opening quarter, and Cassville knocking on the door. 1st and 10 inside the 20 at the 18-yard line of the Tigers. 10-yard run by Rose, picking up the 1st down. Man comes in motion. That's Wilson. Rose rolling to his right, and the pass is underthrown, trying to hit Trey Wilson, coming around in motion, and it falls incomplete. A year ago, Cutter Hicks, the quarterback, threw for over 680 yards and 4 TDs, and that was the first pass attempted this year by the new Wildcat quarterback, Bodie Rose.
Rose rolling to his right, design sprint out pass play, trying to hit Wilson in the flat. Sometimes as a young quarterback, those throws on the run just take a little more time to develop.
2nd down and 10 from the Hollister 18-yard line. Unbalanced to the right side. Twin receivers that way. They keep the backfield split behind Rose, and they give the ball to Wilson. Wilson trying to get to the edge. Breaks the tackle, gets inside the 15, keeps his balance, and takes it down close to the 10. They look like his knee touched down. They're going to spot him down at the 11 after a gain of 7.
Hey, nice run there by Wilson going off the right edge. Was able to shake an arm tackle, work his way downfield. Very quick feet, nice balance right there.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 2 for Cassville. So now they're faced with a 3rd down situation. Hollister unable to convert on their 3rd down on their opening possession. We'll see what Cassville can do. This one's a 3rd and short, though. Twin receivers this time to the left side, and they'll bring the tight end around that way as well. And Rose fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and takes it up the middle, and takes it all the way down in for the score.
That was
And that was Wilson, who
right.
did take the handoff from Rose. It looked like Rose was going to pull it away from him, but he completed the handoff to Wilson, and the wall just rumbled its way down inside the 5 and into the end zone.
Wilson very quick, again, quick feet, able to cut and move and work his way through that defense across the goal line. Exactly what the Wildcats wanted to do here. First possession of the season, work it down, get it in the end zone.
So Littlefield now in to attempt the extra point. And the snap is on the tee, and the kick is in the air, and it is good. And the Wildcats break on top. 9:22 left to go in the opening quarter. Cassville in front, 7-0. Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance, one of the oldest businesses in the area. They were established back in 1887. They're located on the square in Cassville and also in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Stop by or call 847-3300. Willis Insurance, your trusted choice insurance agent. The extra point brought to you by Barbecue Station, just north of the square in Cassville, 900 Main in Cassville. Get your bib on at the Barbecue Station. You can also call them for your next catered event, 847-0470. So a couple of first downs and a touchdown on the opening drive of the night. Like you said, it was set up by the short field on the good return by Hernandez, and the Wildcats took advantage and put the first points of the board, or up on the board here in this ballgame.
Hey, you couldn't draw it up any better. Your defense takes the field. You get a 3 and out. Nice execution in the return game. Offense steps on the field, works it right down into the end zone. Again, special teams execute with the extra point. Coach Weldy, first-year head coach Weldy, has got to be smiling right now over there with the effort of his football team early in this game.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't get a chance to talk about much because of our abbreviated pregame with the delays and trying to get things set up here this evening in a scramble with the weather issues. But Cassville with the new head coach Clay Weldy, longtime Cassville coach. He has been with them all the way back since their state championship days in 08 and 09, but then he became the offensive coordinator 12 years ago, and now he takes over as the head coach of Cassville.
He has he's paid his dues, Sammy. He's a very good coach. He's coached underneath 2 very good head coaches, gained valuable experience in both staffs, and I'm excited for him and his opportunity this season.
Littlefield set to kick it away again. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Come try out the IQ Soft Cloth Automatic featuring custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. A clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. It is back deep, Bertrand along with, and it looks like it's going to be Bertrand again fielding the ball at the 10-yard line, so I won't have to say who's back there with him. And a big hit put on at the 25-yard line, and he is bulldogged to the ground. And they're going to give him the 26, but again, Hollister starting just about midway in their own territory.
Yeah, really nice job in coverage there. Special teams, number 22 for the Wildcats, throwing his name in the hat early. And that is a 6'1", 205-pound senior, Riley Ruark.
Ruark getting the start on defense and also made a big play there on special teams. So 1st and 10 Tigers. Cassville leading 7-0. The ball at the Hollister 26-yard line. Handoff this time. They had tried the passing game their first possession. Didn't work too well. And this time they give the ball into the hands of the running back coming out of the backfield. It was Colton Hale. And he kind of sidesteps a couple of defenders and takes it out to the 31 and picks up 5 yards.
Yeah, you watch these running backs, especially in this conference, Sammy, and there's a lot of good ones, and the good ones you see, they run, they get the handoff, they run with their eyes up, they see what's in front of them, they have great feet, and we just saw some great footwork right there.
So 2nd down and 5.5 to go. They give the ball to a running back again, and this time it's Blake Russell. First time he's ran with the football. They tried to throw a pass to him as well, and he races out to the 35 and comes up about a half a yard short. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard.
First series, Tigers went 3 and out with 3 pass plays. This time they're going to the ground a little bit, see if they can make something happen.
So 3rd and 1 at the 35 of the Tigers. And a sidestep of a defender at the line of scrimmage. And a plunge ahead by Hale. And he appears to have the first down. We'll see where they spot the football. They're checking to the sidelines. The referee checking with the side judge. Now they signal 1st down Tigers.
By the nose of the football, Sammy.
So Hale was able to pick up the 1 yard needed. 1st down Hollister. 7-0 Cassville here with 8 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Tigers with the ball at their own 36-yard line. That is one of the largest centers you will see at the high school level. That is a big guy right there pushing forward. And a pass is caught out at midfield, and this time it's held on to by, and I quickly flipped the sheet, Noah Richardson. And it's another first down for the Tigers in Cassville territory at the Wildcat 46.
Richardson, great big target, defensive end. We called his name just a minute ago. Also tight end, 6'4", 220 pounds. Just a bullet out there to him. Nice job making the catch. Took a shot at the end of the play by Garrett Ewing. Ewing was able to bring him down. Nice hit there in the secondary.
It's a gain of nearly 18 yards. 1st and 10 Tigers as now they're moving the ball. They give the handoff to Hale. Hale makes a nice move and a cut back inside the 45. Keeps his feet and takes it down inside the Cassville 40 to the 39.
This time working their way around the right edge, down that hash mark.
Colton Hale, 5'10", 185 pounds. Not real tall, but he's stout and compact and has powerful legs, and he was able to make a nice cut there to bring up 2nd down and short. And they hand the ball off this time to Russell. Russell cuts out to the outside edge and gets it down inside the 30-yard line before he is taken out of bounds and picks up another Tiger first down.
Russell working his way towards the Tiger sideline, made 2 jump cuts in the backfield before he ultimately ran to the sideline, picking up that first down.
And that's something Coach Weldy talked about in the pregame show was Russell has a lot of similarities to a player that Cassville fans will remember, River Phelps. He's got the ability, and we're not saying they're exactly the same, but he's got that ability to be running hard one direction, slam on the brakes and make a cut and go one way or the other and make defenders miss, and we kind of saw some of that right there. Here we go on 1st and 10. Now they're going to run to the wide side of the field. Hale's got the edge. Coming up to make a play, though, for Cassville's defense is Hernandez. It looked like Hale had a little more running room around the wide side than what he actually ended up with. He is upended at the 21 after a pickup of 9 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
Hernandez able to get up and contain the edge, force the running back to the defense. So nice play out there on that island.
So Hollister inside the Cassville 25, 2nd down and 1. Just about to hit the midway point of the first quarter. Cassville leading 7-0. But Hollister, after not being able to get anything going on their opening drive, now moving the football. And we've got a substitution coming in. The back judge sending one of the Cassville players off to the sidelines. That's Garrett Ewing. Don't know whether it's equipment, uniform, blood, but they're checking him out over there. Meanwhile, 2nd down and short. They give the ball to Russell. Russell running right in behind, I should say, the right side of the offensive line and picks up another Tiger first down as he moves it ahead to the 15.
Well, you spoke about the size up front for the Hollister Tigers, and some of these runs up the middle, they're following in there. And we'll get his number here, 70. Yeah, it's Jake Lebsock, 6'1", 355 pounds of him, and I think you're right. I don't think we'll see a center quite that large this year again.
And then you got an offensive lineman on that right side, 6'3", 270 pounds. So they got some big guys over there. Here they come around the end, one man to beat, and Russell goes by the corner and takes it in for the score. And the Tigers are an extra point away from tying this game.
Russell just showing that balance, and we talked a minute ago about his ability to cut. We saw it right there, made a cut, got to the outside, and on into the end zone. Hollister Tigers getting some things figured out offensively in their second possession.
So the Tigers now to attempt the extra point, and Blake Russell is the kicker as well. The snap was low, scooped up and put on the tee, and Russell got the kick away, but we had whistles coming from the back judge. We'll see what this is all about. 9 plays, 74 yards. Looks like it took about 4 minutes off the clock. And we are going to try the extra point again. Only And they're going to back them up 5 yards. So the first penalty of the night goes against the Tigers. We talked about Kalovich and Russell back, but they returned 15 players off of that team a year ago that won a school record 6 games. So the snap again, put on the tee. Russell's kick away. He's got plenty of leg, and he's got the accuracy as well. So the PAT is good. And 5:28 left to go opening quarter. We're tied at 7. We'll take a quick break and be back with the kickoff right after this. You're listening to Big 8 Football on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Hollister. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware at 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. For your project questions, call Michael's. Friendly folks, serious hardware. 7-7 our ball game. 5:28 left to go in quarter number 1. Bodie Rose and Trey Wilson back to receive the kick, and Wilson hauls it in back around the 3-yard line, and he'll bring it out from there. He's got room down the right sideline. Bodie Rose leading the way. He makes a man miss at the 30, makes another man miss at the 40, and takes it all the way out close to the 45-yard line before he is finally wrestled to the ground.
Now, once again, nice return in special teams for the Wildcats. And, again, you don't realize how valuable special teams are until your special teams aren't very good. Right now, the Wildcats are very good in the special teams department.
So 1st and 10 Cassville at their own 45 after a 40-yard return on the kickoff by Trey Wilson. Cassville scored on their first possession of the night. Hollister just answered on their second possession of the ball game. We're tied at 7. Bodie Rose under center, and we've got movement prior to the snap. We had a couple of guys maybe just a little quick, and a flag comes out, and it'll back the Wildcats up 5 yards.
Those are kind of those early season blunders I spoke about in the pregame, Sammy, and it's really tough on your offense when you're moving backward, and you've got to find ways to avoid those things.
Yeah, we talk about all the time how nice it is when you get those big plays on first down when you're dealing with second down and shorts. Well, it's the exact opposite there to put yourself in a hole right off the bat. So 1st and 15 from the 40-yard line. And Rose hands the ball off right tackle. Big pileup over there as there's a stack of 7 or 8 players. Bryce Jacobson gets up off the bottom of the pile with the football, and he is able to gain only 3 yards.
Wildcats trying to power off right side right there, defended pretty well by the Tigers.
Jacobson a year ago ran for over 245 yards and a touchdown for Cassville. Gets his second carry of the night here this evening. 2 carries for a total of 7 yards. So 2nd down and 12. And Cassville going to run the ball again. This time Rose running the option with Wilson, and Bodie Rose keeps it himself and turns it up the Cassville sideline, takes it across the 45 out to the 47. He's able to pick up about 4 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and nearly 9 to go.
A pretty nice job that time by the young quarterback, bouncing it out towards that Wildcat sideline. You know, Rose is another one of these players. He's got good feet. He's got a burst. He can get to the edge and get that corner turned. We saw it right there.
Yeah, we saw the speed he had last year in the Cassville secondaries. He got to start as a freshman, but then got injured in a JV game and lost the rest of his season. So he's now the quarterback for the Wildcats, facing 3rd down and 9. They were successful their first 3rd down conversion try. We'll see what happens here. Rose spins away, brings it across the 50, skips over a defender inside the 45, and picks up the Wildcat first down. Takes it down close to the Hollister 40-yard line, and the Wildcats will move the chains.
Yeah, really nice play right there. Just a bootleg out to the wide side of the field using that speed of Rose. He's able to head towards that Tiger sideline, makes the corner, gets upfield, knows what he had to get, got across that yardage marker for the first down.
It's a gain of 11 and a first down for Cassville as they move the ball down inside the 42-yard line of Hollister. Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. Superior Metal Sales, they're first in all your farm building needs. Check them out online for examples of what they can custom build for you at SuperiorMetalSalesInc.com. So 1st and 10 Wildcats. Rose looking to throw. He's got a man open. The catch is made at the 35-yard line, and a quick burst of speed upfield has another Cassville first down as Garrett Ewing hauls it in. Nice run after the catch as he takes it all the way down to the 22-yard line of the Hollister Tigers.
A nice route there by Ewing and a great throw by Rose, right on the money, right in time. Ball caught with his hands. Ewing makes the catch, turns it upfield. Really nice play there.
Again, the Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. SuperiorMetalSalesInc.com. You can also call 888-364-9527. A gain of 20. 1st and 10 Cassville at the Hollister 22-yard line. Split backfield behind Rose. Pitches the ball back to Jacobson. Jacobson's got a lead blocker. Makes a cutback at the 20. A penalty flag comes out behind the play. Jacobson dives down inside the 15 to the 13, but this one may be coming back. When those flags are thrown behind the play, those are never in a good spot if you're an offensive player.
No, and you sure hate to see those. Plays already, the run is already beyond. You see the flag coming in from behind. Those are frustrating, especially when you have a nice offensive play.
It's a 10-yard penalty marked off from the 25, so it'll take it back to the 35-yard line. And it'll bring up first down, and since the flag, I should say, was thrown about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it's going to be first down and about 23, 24 yards to go. 2.5 left to play in the opening quarter. Cassville and Hollister tied at 7. Wildcats with possession of the football. Twin receivers out to the left. Pass down the line of scrimmage is caught by Ewing. Ewing's get a block at the 30, and it's a race down the sidelines at the 10, at the 5. Dives for the pylon. Touchdown, Cassville.
Hey, great play call right there. You just got moved back by the penalty. First and forever. You throw a little play out to the slot receiver, Ewing. He's got a blocker out front. Down the sideline, he made a move, got inside his defender, and the race was on. Dove for the pylon at the end. Huge offensive play there for the Wildcats.
35-yard touchdown pass. And the Wildcats are back on top. And Littlefield in to attempt the extra point. Snap back, ball down. The kick is up. It's got the distance, and it is good. Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance for auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance. See the folks at Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville and in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Stop by and get a quote today. Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by the Barbecue Station. Come in and get the Marple Bowl. It's a legend at the Barbecue Station, 900 Main in Cassville. You can also call for all your catering needs at 847-0470. So Cassville answers after having the lead lost on a long drive by Hollister. The Wildcats come right back and punch it back in on a really nice touchdown pass and then run after the catch. Good for 35 yards and a score.
Say, listen, when you offense, typically when they have big offensive plays and big scores, you have blocking downfield typically by your wide receivers. You're not wide receivers. They're not just going out to catch passes. They have other jobs to do. And one of the main reasons that play went for a touchdown, you got a sophomore wide receiver, Kenyon King, out there wide. The ball's thrown in the slot to Ewing. He got behind King. King cleared the way and on into the end zone for Ewing. But that play does not happen if that young wide receiver, Kenyon King, is not out there lead blocking.
So the Wildcats ready to kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. A clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Littlefield gets a nice leg in it. This time it's returned from the 15 by the guy that we've been talking about, that we got his number first, and then we were trying to pick up later to see who the other return man was, but that on the near side, Grant Jones, and he brings it back out across the 30 to the 31. And it looks like that is where they're going to spot it down. First down, Hollister. 2:20 now left to play here in the opening quarter. Cassville back on top, 14-7. Kalovich back operating from the shotgun. He's got Hale off his right hip. Twin receivers out to the left. Now they bring the big tight end in motion. Fake the handoff to him. He's going to lead block for Hale. Hale is hit right as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Good contact there made initially by Ethan Lamborn, and drops him after a gain of only 3 out to the 35.
Yeah, Lamborn coming from the backside, trailing the play right down the line of scrimmage. A little kind of a slow developing run play, and Lamborn working his way down that line of scrimmage, able to bring the ball carrier down. Really nice job by the defensive end.
Inside 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. 2nd down and 7 to go for Hollister from their own 35. Cassville with a 14-7 lead. Already had 3 touchdowns here scored in the opening quarter of play. Now they give the ball to Russell. Cut back at the line of scrimmage, and he breaks it into the open, and it's a foot race, and nobody's going to catch him. He's at the 20, at the 10, 5, touchdown Tigers as Hollister quickly back onto the board. Well, Hollister handed off to their speed guy, Blake Russell, and he broke into the open about 8 or 9 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and once he saw open field ahead of him, he turned on the afterburners and took it all the way for the touchdown.
Well, a lot of times when you're anticipating the run, you start working your way up towards that line of scrimmage. If that running back's able to get through that first, second layer, there's really nobody back there, and that was the case. Russell with enough speed to run away from the defenders chasing him. Not even an angle could catch him.
His second rushing touchdown of the night, that one good for 65 yards. And now the extra point by Russell is good, and we're tied again at 14. And Russell, on 5 carries, has now accumulated 99 yards here in the first quarter. Of course, when you have the big plays like that, it's going to add up in a hurry.
Yeah, when you're running plays from your end of the field to the opponent's end of the field, your yardage sheet is going to look pretty nice. But just a situation where he got through that line of scrimmage and through the linebackers, really nobody back there in the secondary on that side. He just popped it, and he was gone. It was just a good play call and good execution. Again,
tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware in Cassville. Give your to-do list a game plan that's sure to be a winner. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. The Cassville Wildcat broadcasting team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. I invite you to come. You've never been worth more on trade-in. They'll even buy your car. So please come and see them. Les Jacobs Ford, the junctions of 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. Online, lesjacobsford.com. Well, Cassville took them 3 minutes to score. It took Hollister just a little over 50 seconds to answer. And we're knotted again, this time at 14 with 92 seconds left to go in the first period. Bodie Rose and Garrett Ewing. Nope, looks like it's going to be Trey Wilson back at their own 10, awaiting the kickoff of the Tigers. Blake Russell also handles the kickoff duties as well as the PATs for the Tigers. Lights are just starting to take effect here as the clouds had parted for a moment, allowing some sun to come in, but now it's setting behind the clouds. Kickoff down the right hash. Wilson racing over and fields it at the 11-yard line, trying to bring it back to the middle of the field. Now he sees an opening. He's across the 30. Burst of speed across the 40 and out to midfield. The ball comes loose. Did it stay in bounds, though? Hollister says it did, and the side judge agrees with him, and we've got our first turnover of the night, and it goes against Cassville. And, boy, when you're on the sidelines like that, more times than not, the ball's going to pop out of bounds, and you'll keep possession. But for some crazy reason, the ball hit and bounced back and stayed in play, and Hollister was able to recover.
Yeah, a great return ends in tragedy right there as Wilson had crossed midfield. Just a little rip at the football, came out right at the end. Hollister right there to fall on it. Momentum swing right now to the home team.
So Hollister will take over at their own 44-yard line. With a minute 22 left to go here in quarter number 1. Another huge return by the Cassville special teams, but this time ends in a turnover. Kalovich gives on the inside. New man carrying the ball, and he's got a wall of blockers in front and dives inside the 45 of the Wildcats down to about the 42. And that was big Zach Nuss, 6 foot, 230 pounds.
Yeah, they've got some big boys out there on this offense, taking that little end-around handoff. And again, Ewing having to come up and make another tackle. He's probably tackled the two biggest specialty players for this Hollister Tiger offense.
It's a gain of 14 and a first down for the Tigers. Down to 60 seconds left to play in the opening quarter. Kalovich this time up under center. Fakes it to Nuss and gives it off to Hale, and Hale powers his way straight up the middle down to the 39-yard line, picks up 3 yards.
It's your little smash mouth game right there, straight ahead. Well, I tell you what, under a minute to go here in this first quarter, game one, and the scoreboard's trying to light up down there. Both teams have put the ball in the end zone twice.
Hollister will get one more play before the first quarter expires, unless we have the old defensive penalty. We'll see what happens here. We're down to 20 seconds and counting left to go in the first period. Kalovich gives the ball to Russell, and Russell on a little misdirection play tries to sneak in around the backside, and Bryce Jacobson's able to spot him and bring him down after a pickup of only about 2 yards.
Russell made one defender miss. Bryson Jacobson able to step up and bring him down. Nice play in the open field there.
So that'll bring up third down, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. After 12 minutes of play from Hollister, it's 14-14. We will be back with quarter number 2. The Tigers with the football. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talent Network. Back with you at Hollister, the first play of the second quarter. Blake Russell with the carry for the Hollister Tigers. He takes it down to the 31-yard line, picks up 6 yards and a Hollister first down, and with that carry, he goes over 100 yards rushing here in the first half. Of course, the bulk of that on that 65-yard run. Tie score, 14 apiece between Cassville and Hollister as we play early on here in quarter number 2. Tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. They're just north of Cassville on Highway 37. They're the area leader for diesel performance. If your engine's just not running right, take it to Roark Diesel. They specialize in diesel performance. Kalovich back to the shotgun for the Tigers. Gives on the inside handoff to Russell. Russell makes a man miss in the backfield, breaks a tackle at the 25, makes a cutback at the 10, and takes it in for the score. And there's that cutback ability that we were talking about earlier that Coach Weldy was worried about.
Not only that, but the ability to break tackles, Sammy. He broke a tackle in the backfield and broke another one after he got through the line of scrimmage. Just a great individual effort that time by Russell as he works his way down the field and then turned on the Jets into the end zone.
A 31-yard touchdown run for Blake Russell, his third score of the night. Unofficially now 138 yards rushing on only 8 carries. Extra point by Russell is up, and it's a little bit of a mishandled snap, and he got a squib kick away, and it was well short and wide to the right. So the extra point is no good. Will that factor into tonight's game? We'll have to wait and see. PAT fails, and Hollister leading by only 6, 20-14 with 11:18 left to go in the first half.
would not be the first time, Sammy, that we have seen the kicking game, a missed extra point, something along those lines, absolutely have an impact at the ending of a football game.
Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. Since 2006, they've been providing a huge selection of diesel performance products for Cassville and the surrounding area. You can call them at 847-6560 or find them online, roarkdiesel.com. 20 to 14, Hollister now with their first lead of the night. Cassville jumped on top 7-0. Hollister tied it at 7. Wildcats went up 14-7. Tigers tied it again at 14, but now Hollister, after a Cassville fumble on a kickoff return, take advantage and put 6 more points on the board, and they lead it 20 to 14. Still a lot of time left here in the first half. Bodie Rose and Trey Wilson back at their own 10, awaiting the kick of Russell. Russell kind of all over the place tonight for you.
Really is.
He's the Swiss Army knife. He's doing a little bit of everything.
He's just a good football player. Good football player.
All-conference performer from a year ago for Hollister. He steps in, gets a leg to it, and drives it down the right hash. Wilson fields it back at his 11-yard line, brings it across the play, or across the field, I should say, as Cassville tries to set up a play, and Wilson takes on contact. A couple of different players gave him a pretty good lick, but he kept his legs underneath him and takes it out close to the 29-yard line. They'll spot him between the 28 and the 29 of the Wildcats.
Yeah, still not a bad return. He ran a long way, all the way across the field, working his way towards the Tiger sideline before he was brought down, but still not a bad job there, giving the Wildcats decent starting field position.
The nose of the football touching the Cassville 29, 1st and 10 Wildcats. Hollister running a 3-man front. They've got the 3-4 defense. Play coming in from the sidelines, brought in by Garrett Ewing. It's nice to have him back and healthy after he got hurt early last season. They send another receiver. Looks like Hernandez out there with Ewing, wide to the left. Split backfield of Wilson and Jacobson behind Bodie Rose, and now a flag comes out, and the play clock may have expired. I can only see one of them really well from our broadcast position, and I was watching the Cassville play and wasn't watching the other end of the field, and it looks like it's going to be 5-yard penalty back to the 24, and it'll bring up 1st and 15. Third penalty of the night against the Wildcats for a total of 15 yards. Hernandez and Ewing go wide to the left. They keep the same formation. Hollister switching up, going with a 4-man front. Cassville looking to run the ball. Good power move off the left side. Made a hole there for the Cassville running back. And that was Trey Wilson. He takes it out to the 31. Looks like they're going to give him the 32 for a pickup of nearly 8 yards.
Well, off left edge right there. Nice push by that offensive line, creating some room to work for Wilson.
Wilson now 3 carries for 26 yards, and he's got the Cassville touchdown on the ground. Garrett Ewing's got the touchdown reception. 2nd down and 8. Bodie Rose takes the snap, pitches it back to Jacobson trying to get to the edge, and he is wrapped up and pulled back at the 35-yard line. And it's a gain of only 3 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and nearly 4.
Wildcats like to run that toss power sweep. This time around the left edge. Some blockers out front. Jacobson just not able to slip that tackle and was brought down.
So here we go, another big 3rd down play facing the Wildcats with 10 minutes left to go in the first half. Cassville converted on their first 2 opportunities of the night, but this one in their own territory. Line of scrimmage, the Cassville 35. Hollister showing blitz. Now they back out of it. The Wildcats are going to run to the right side, which is the wide side of the field. Bodie Rose keeps the football and is tripped up at the 38-yard line and is going to be very, very close. And they do give him the 1st down. They spot it at the 39. Looked like he was between the 38 and 39, but a generous spot, a pickup of 4 yards. And Bodie Rose picks up the first down. They'll move the chains. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. They're first in color selection. You can check out their gallery at superiormetalsalesinc.com.
Yeah, nice job again. Rose, again, using that speed on the quarterback sweep, just getting out, following some blockers, made a nice cut, which allowed him to pick up that first down.
So the Wildcats down the line of scrimmage, and Garrett Ewing with the football is stacked up after a pickup of only a yard to the 40.
Well, we saw the Wildcats score on this play just in their last possession. Throw out to the slot receiver looking for a block on the edge. This time the ball brought Ewing into the defense just a little bit, and two Tigers converged to bring him down.
8:43 left to go before halftime, 20-14, Hollister with the lead. Cassville facing second down and 9 at their own 40-yard line. Twin receivers this time to the right. And Rose hands the ball off up the middle. Straight ahead with the attack for the Cassville offense. And Hollister's defense is there to stack up the Wildcat running back after a pickup of only 2.
One of the things that I like in the last play, I know it was a handoff to the fullback straight ahead, short yardage, but one of the things that you notice, some people notice, I notice things like this. Young quarterback turns around, he fakes the ball, and he sprints, and he sprints to carry out his fake. When a player doesn't sprint carrying out the fake, no, you're not fooling anyone. By him doing that, maybe you're clearing someone out of the way for some positive yards. I appreciate what he did right there on that play.
So third down and long, and the ball is jarred loose as the running back and the quarterback collided, and the ball comes free, and Hollister comes up with another Cassville turnover.
Yeah, big turnover right there. In Tiger territory, just a situation, just a lot of congestion right there at the point of the handoff. Ball hits the ground, Tigers fall on it. Right now, Wildcats find themselves on their heels a little bit. Just under 8 minutes to go here in the half. The Tigers knocking on the door again.
So Hollister takes over at the Cassville 38-yard line. Not quite halfway through the second quarter, but they're going to take their water break. Of course, first 3 weeks of the regular season, Misha requires that you take a water break, timeout, give everyone a little chance to rehydrate and cool down a little bit every quarter. They usually try to do it somewhere around the midway point of each quarter, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break as well. Let you hear from our sponsors. We'll be back here at Hollister. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you at Hollister. The Tigers lead the Wildcats 20-14, 7:40 left to go in the first half. After the Cassville turnover, the Tigers with possession of the football, and they give the ball to Hale. Hale with a nice cutback. He's inside the 40, breaks a tackle inside the 30, still on his feet. Finally run down from behind all the way down to the 20-yard line. Big first down run by Hale for the Tigers.
A little misdirection around. Hale takes the football, puts his foot in the ground, straight down the middle of the football field he goes. Touchdown saving tackle down there at the end of the play, but just a situation, as you call it, just kind of a cutback run. A little over pursuit defensively possibly right there. He's able to cut back, freeze the defense, and downfield he makes his way.
So it's a gain of 24 yards for Colton Hale and a first down for the Tigers at the Cassville 19-yard line. Kalovich back to the shotgun. They bring a man in motion, hand it off to the big back coming around. And that once again is Zach Noose, 230 pounds. And this time the Wildcat defense gets to him before he can get a head of steam going. And they drop him for a yard loss at the 20.
Yeah, good play right there. Looked like Joseph Burton was the first man there. Just another end around with the big tight end. Burton maintaining his containment, able to get into the body of the big ball carrier, allowing a couple of the Wildcats to come help out. Nice play defensively.
So second down and 11 now facing the Tigers. Russell off of Kalovich's left hip, Hale off of his right. Receiver out to the left, low snap. They give it to Russell, though, and Russell has a little hole off right tackle, but then good job by the Cassville defense as sneaking in DJ Glidewell and dropped him after a short gain.
Glidewell, freshman on this Wildcat defense, able to make a nice play right there. Real strong kid, young, getting his opportunity out here on Friday night, able to beat his man off the ball, get into the ball carrier and bring him to the ground. Nice job right there.
And that's going to bring up a third down and 9. Hollister 1 for 4 on third down conversion tries. Third down and 9. And it looks like Hollister is going to call a timeout.
Big third down right here.
So we have our first timeout of the night. It goes to the Hollister Tigers. Timeout is brought to you by Security Bank. It's time to think about your bank. Any bank can cash checks, accept deposits, and make loans, but the distinguishing factor between banks is their level of service to their customer. Whether it's a loan decision or the processing of your bank statement, all the decisions and services of the Security Bank are generated by their talented local bank staff in a prompt, fair, and professional manner. Security Bank of Cassville, member FDIC.
A big third down in this football game as we're getting under 6 minutes till halftime. One possession game right now, and the way this game is going, every possession matters. So Hollister certainly wanting to get on the same page. Wildcat defense glad to take the opportunity to go over, talk about some things. Hey, here's what we need to key on if you see X, Y, Z. So we'll see what happens. 3rd and 9.
Yeah, trading scores is one thing, but if you can give yourself a 2-score cushion, that's a
Huge.
big thing, and especially like you just said, in a game like this where teams are going back and forth right now.
Huge.
So here we go, 3rd down and 9. We got twin receivers to the left, one man split out wide to the right, just one back with Kalovich. Russell coming in motion, and they fake the pitch to him. Look down the middle of the field, and they got a man wide open. He misses the football, and it's picked off by Bodie Rose in the end zone. The ball went right off of the hands of wide open Zach Noose, and Bodie Rose intercepts the ball in the end zone, and Cassville will take over at the 20-yard line.
Great play right there, Sammy. And I'm just trying to, I want to make sure that that play stands. It looks as though it will. Little slant pattern there, thrown a little bit high off the hand of the receiver. Rose, right place at the right time. In the back of the end zone, able to snatch the football out of the air, keep a foot in bounds, and get the ball back in his offense hand. Huge play right there to keep this a one-possession football game.
Like we talked about, Bodie Rose got to start in the secondary a couple of games last year before he got hurt, and he had one interception already in the young season before missing the majority of the 2021 schedule. He's already got a pick here tonight. Now the quarterback for the Wildcats, Bodie Rose, hands the ball off to Jacobson. Jacobson trying to get around the left end, and Hollister does a nice job stringing him down the line of scrimmage. He is able to turn the corner, but is able to pick up only 4 yards.
And the Wildcats will take that right now. Looks like he got a little better spot, maybe. Yeah. The chains were moving a little further than I thought, but yeah, you're right, 4 yards. Wildcats will take that right now.
20-14, Hollister on top, 5 minutes left to go in the first half. Two teams traded scores early on, but then Hollister has scored twice in a row to take their first lead of the night. Cassville with a big turnover, denying Hollister with a play in the end zone. Rose rolling out to his right, throwing out of the backfield, trying to hit Trey Wilson. The defense right there for the Tigers, and Wilson couldn't hang on.
Wildcats will want to have that one back. Nice little play call there. Rose using his speed on his sprint out to his right. Wilson had made his way into the flat. Pretty nice, pretty good throw, just a little bit lacking on the execution and catching the football right there.
And the
Wilson
defensive
Wilson
back
will tell you, should have caught the football.
Defensive back timed it pretty good, too. He hit him right about the same time the ball got there.
It's tough. It's tough when you're taking contact.
So another third down play. Cassville 3 of 4 on third down conversion so far here in the first half. This one thrown underneath, and it's a little underthrown, and Ewing can't come back to it, and it'll bring up fourth down. And that one's tough when you got a receiver running directly back at you, and he's wanting to catch and turn upfield.
Yeah, you're going to see some things with a young quarterback, some learning curves. Hey, we got a third down. Here's the chains. Here's where we need to be. Here's where the ball, and those are things with the technology today. They can pull that up on film. They're going to watch. They're going to talk about it. Here's where the ball needs to be thrown in that scenario.
So with 4:50 left to go in the first half, Cassville punting for the first time. Hernandez rolling to his right with the rugby style, and now he sees an opening. He's got the first down. He's across the 30, across the 40, scrambles down the sideline, and is finally taken out of bounds out around the 45-yard line. And that's where that rugby style kick can take a big advantage for the team trying to punt the football. Nobody really was out there on the right edge, and Hernandez just ran down the sidelines and picked up the first down.
And that's a situation right there where your coach has a lot of confidence in the decision-making of the punter right there. Hernandez, a senior, got good speed. He sees the play, especially in this area of the football field. If he doesn't make that, Sammy, that's disaster. He sees it. Coach has confidence in him making that call. He makes it first down. Wildcats maintain possession.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Wildcats looking to go back to the ground game. They give it to Trey Wilson, and he was stacked up right at the line of scrimmage and then powered his way out across the 45, all the way out to the 48-yard line. Strong run by Wilson to pick up, looks like about 5.5 yards.
You got that right. He got behind those pads. You're right, he was stacked up right at about the 45, and somehow strong legs, got behind the pads, and worked his way through the defenders. Very physical run that time by Wilson.
He kind of got underneath that one guy, and boy, once he got underneath that guy, he just lifted up with the legs and plunged ahead. So second down and a long 4 yards. Cassville running the option. Rose rolling to his left. He's got an opening. He's inside the 45, inside the 30, and races out of bounds down around the 20-yard line. A flag comes out at the tail end of the play. One of the Hollister defenders got to Rose a little late, as Bodie Rose, with a big burst of speed, picks up the first down, and they're going to get some extra yardage after the run.
Yeah, great speed again by Rose. Again, it's a quarterback sweep around that left edge. He makes his way to the Wildcat sideline. Down the sideline he goes. Defender and Rose at the sideline kind of rode him out of bounds. About 3 yards out of bounds, he had a hold of the jersey and just slung Rose to the ground, and the official right there on it with the flag. The Wildcats are going to get another 15, I believe. Well, maybe half the distance in this position on the field.
Yeah, because they've got it at the 20-yard line right now. And the personal foul called against the Tigers for the roughing. So it'll be 15 yards, as you said, half the distance to the goal. They'll take it down to the 10.
Again, when you look at a young quarterback like Rose, and we talked about the throw on third down right there, but he's got that athletic ability and that speed. You got to grow with a young quarterback. He's going to learn things, but athletically he brings a different dynamic to the table. So as a coach, and you have a kid like that on offense, you're going to use that speed, and you're going to grow with a young quarterback.
32-yard pickup and then 10 more yards on the penalty. Cassville first and goal from the 10. They reset the tight end to the left, pitch the ball to Jacobson. Jacobson makes a cut back and rumbles his way down to the 5-yard line. Gets halfway to the end zone.
Short side of the field heading towards that Wildcat sideline. The Wildcats like to run that power sweep. Jacobson has been the beneficiary of the toss sweeps tonight. Done a nice job, gets the football, and he heads downhill quickly.
On that big run by Rose, he now unofficially 61 yards on 5 carries. Second down and goal, Cassville just outside the 5. The nose of the football nearly touching the 5-yard line. We're down to 3:20 left to go before halftime. Cassville trailing by 6. Wildcats twin receivers to the right side this time. And Rose races around that way behind the lead block of Wilson, trying to get to the edge. Breaks the tackle at the 5. Penalty flag comes out. Diving for the end zone. Did he get it inside the pylon? No, they say he stepped out of bounds at the 2. But we've got a flag thrown in the backfield.
Again, in that area, you don't like to see flags, Sammy.
Also got a flag down at the 2.
We'll see how the officials hash this out.
A flag at the 10 and a flag at the 2. Got a face mask against Hollister. That may have been the one down at the 2 if I had to guess.
And that's all they got. Both flags
Well,
were
both
for
flags
the face
were the
mask.
same one. All right. Wildcats will take it. And again, they will spot the ball down at the 1.5-yard line. So 3:12 left to go before halftime. Wildcats looking at second down just outside the 1. Split backfield behind Rose. And they go with the quarterback keeper. Good surge by the offensive line. Still no signal. Still no signal. Looking down each line. And they say he did not get in. It'll be inside the 1-yard line now. And Cassville bringing in the Rhino package, bringing in a couple of big boys, and I'm sure they'll probably join in there in the backfield. And it'll bring up third down. Third down and about a foot to go.
Wildcats going to use on this clock. They don't want to give the football back to the Tigers any sooner than they have to.
Power eye to the right side. Rose fakes the handoff. Now he gives it off to the last man through Wilson, and Wilson dives in behind 2 lead blockers. Touchdown, Cassville.
Great job right here by the Wildcats. Having a little adversity here in this second quarter with a couple of turnovers. They find a way to get right back in the game, potentially taking the lead here with this extra point.
11 plays, 80 yards. And 3 minutes off the clock. Peter Littlefield in to attempt the extra point out of the hold of Garrett Ewing. And the kick is on the way, and it is good. Littlefield with his third PAT of the night, and Cassville on top, 21-20. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville and in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shellknob. For over 130 years, they've been there to help. You don't stay in business that long unless you treat your customers right. Call 847-3300 in Cassville, 858-3747 in Shellknob, and get a quote today. Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by the Barbecue Station. The Barbecue Station has the sweet smell of midday on Main Street in Cassville. All courtesy of the Barbecue Station at 900 Main in Cassville, Missouri, just north of the square. Call 847-0470 for all your catering needs. 2:45 left to go before the half. The Wildcats back in front, 21-20. And the Wildcats set to kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff, as always, brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Clean car's a happy car, and that makes you feel good. They've got that IQ Soft Cloth Automatic. Features custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time.
Well, once again, as I stated, Wildcats had some adversity, big time here.
Yeah, 3 plays in a row where they didn't hardly go anywhere, and then suddenly, boom, they pick up a first down. The drive keeps going, and
well, even backing up further than that, the turnovers, they gave up 1 score on one of the turnovers, but they were able to get the football back on an interception of their own on the second turnover and work their way down and get in the end zone. So really nice job getting back in this game.
Littlefield boots this one down the middle of the field, and it's going to be returned from the 9-yard line. Out across the 20, across the 25, makes a cut, slips, keeps his balance, and takes it across the 30. And the return man for Hollister was Colton Hale. And it looks like they're going to put him down at the 31-yard line. And we'll call it the 32.
Hale and Russell are quite the duo for this Tiger offense as running backs out of this backfield. Both of them, they look very similar in their pads. Both of them run pretty similar. Russell is probably 1A versus Hale's 1B, but both of them very talented running backs the Wildcats are having to deal with tonight.
2.5 minutes left to go before the break. Cassville on top, 21-20. Kalovich from the shotgun gives the ball inside handoff to Russell. Russell bounces off one man and moves ahead out to the 38. Is able to pick up about 5, maybe 6 yards.
Again, Russell he takes the contact. He's able to kind of find a way not to just take direct shots, but he's tough to bring down. He keeps the legs churning, and he'll break that first tackle. He'll break that arm tackle for sure.
They got him listed at only about 150 pounds, and I would say if he weighs a lot more than that, it's not very much, maybe 5 pounds more than that. And he's got a low center of gravity. He's not real tall, and he's just a tough guy to get a hold of.
Well, he reminds me of somebody that, you know, back years ago when I played. He reminds me of a back that you remember from the Seneca Indians back in the day. Not very big, but very tough to tackle and pretty talented.
Well, you might have to narrow it down. They had a couple of guys, but I'm thinking Mac Whitehead.
No, I'm thinking
Cheyenne Cummings. There you
go. Yeah, Mac was a good player too. Don't get me wrong, but Cheyenne was a little different, just a different animal. Reminded me more of Blake Russell.
Yeah, Whitehead had the more power. Cummings, like you said, had the more elusiveness and making defenses miss. Kalovich, after the first down picked up by the Tigers, looks to throw back behind the play. They got a little screen set up. Noose makes the catch. He's out across midfield into Cassville territory. The big man hard to bring down, and they finally are able to corral him down around the 35-yard line. But a big gain picked up by Hollister.
Yeah, for a big kid, he's elusive, man. He caught that throwback pass. Down the field he went, and one of the Wildcat defenders went at the legs. He just high-stepped over him. Just a very athletic play for a big tight end.
And Hollister wants to do a little hurry up here with closing in on a minute to go before halftime. Kalovich, another quick pass. This one caught. Nice move by the receiver to make the man miss, and now he's going to pick up a first down inside the 25, and that was Ethan Wright out there with the catch.
Wright working his way on just a speed out there. Nice delivery. He caught the football and immediately hit the brakes. Just stopped in his track. Wildcat defender ran right by. Down the field he went.
They spot him down at the 21-yard line after a gain of 14. Kalovich now 3 of 7 throwing the football. And we got a stoppage of play here with 1:01 left to go in the first half. 1st and 10 for Hollister at the Cassville 21-yard line. Again, tonight's second quarter has been brought to you by Roark Diesel, providing a huge selection of diesel performance products since 2006 to Cassville and the surrounding area. Find them online at roarkdiesel.com or call 847-6560. They're located just north of Cassville on Highway 37.
Well, here we are, right at a minute until halftime. The Tigers driving just outside the 20-yard line.
Cassville with a 1-point lead, 21-20. But a big screen play has the Tigers set up inside the Cassville 25. 1st and 10, Hollister. Split backfield behind Kalovich. They go unbalanced right side, and they give the ball to Russell, and he starts to run that way. Tries a cutback and is grabbed quickly and brought to the ground. Good job there by the Cassville defender, and I can see a 6, and I can't see, it's a 1, Christian Tidwell. And it's no gain on the play.
Yeah, nice job along that defensive line for the Wildcats. Way to bottle up Russell.
So 2nd down and 10. We're down to 36 seconds left in the half. Twin receivers to the left, twin receivers to the right. Cassville comes with some pressure on the outside. Kalovich steps up in the pocket and overthrows the intended receiver. Going up in the air was Ethan Wright, trying to come down with it between a couple of Cassville defenders, but he couldn't hang on to the football.
Would have taken a perfect needle throw to complete that. Wildcats did a really nice job in the secondary defending the play there.
So that will bring up 3rd down and 10 now for Hollister. They're only 1 for 5 on 3rd down conversion tries. They've still got plenty of time to get 2 plays in.
25 seconds, big 3rd down here. You got to think at minimum you're in 4-down territory here. They do seem to like the leg of Russell, though.
They've got to get inside the 12 to pick up the 1st down. They fake the handoff to Hale, and we got whistles and stoppage of the play before it can get going. And we've got an offside against the defense, and that will give Hollister 5 free yards. It'll move them closer if they want to try a field goal, but it'll still be 3rd down, but now it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, plenty of time to run another play for sure before you run the field goal unit on them. That's a big 5 yards right there for the Tigers.
We've got no wind, so that will not be affecting any sort of kick here. So 3rd and 5 now from the Cassville 16. Unbalanced to the left. Kalovich fakes the handoff to Hale, rolls to his left, sets up, under pressure, throws. The catch is made by Russell at the 10, makes a man miss, and he takes it down to the 5 and is knocked out of bounds at the 4. And that will stop the clock with 18 seconds left in the half and give Hollister a first down.
Russell came out of the backfield, was able to kind of find an opening out there. Nice throw delivered. He made the catch, made a man miss. On down inside the 10, around the 5, maybe the 3.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to put it at the 3. So 1st and goal from the 3 after the 13-yard pass and catch from Kalovich to Russell. 18 seconds left in the half. Hale and Russell flank Kalovich in the shotgun. Gives the ball to Russell, and Russell is hit right as he gets the football and is taken down for a loss. Big stop there by the Cassville defense.
Yeah,
first man who got to him, I believe, was Jacobson. He was helped out by 2 or 3 other Wildcats.
Well, a great job right along that defensive front, getting off that block and making that play. And it's hard to see. We've got a little bit of a glare on our window here. Who that was. I do have some coaches nearby that can probably tell me who that was. But great play nonetheless.
Well, we've got another timeout called by Hollister with 15 seconds left in the half. Timeout brought to you by Security Bank of Cassville, Wheaton, and Exeter. At Security Bank, you sit across from a neighbor and a decision maker. With all the newest banking features, Security Bank has the same hometown service. Security Bank of Exeter, Wheaton, and Cassville, member FDIC. So 2nd down and goal from the 5. Cassville leading by 1. Closing seconds of the first half. Kalovich this time gets up under center, or is he going to drop back? Looks like he's going to get under center. Splits Russell and Hale behind him. Unbalanced right. And he throws the fade pattern to the back corner of the end zone, and the receiver had a chance to catch the ball, and he just short-armed it. He had an open opportunity, looked like, to come back to it, and he tried to reach over the defender.
The defender fell down. He got tripped up in the end zone somehow. He's getting up gingerly, but he fell down. The receiver, all he had to do was just stand there and catch it.
That's Trey Wilson.
He thought it was a jump ball situation, but the Wildcat defender got tripped up and fell down. The Wildcats catch a huge break right there.
So here we go. The ball's still at the 5. 11 seconds left in the half. Kalovich with only Hale in the backfield this time. And they got trips out to the right side. Kalovich rolling that direction. With time, still with time. Good coverage downfield. Now Kalovich is going to have to run with the football, and he's dropped. And 1 second, now it ticks off zeros before they could get the ball reset, and time expires. Cassville holds.
Great defensive stand right there. I tell you what, when you get down inside the 20, inside the 10, certainly around the 5, man, the field really shrinks, and it helps the defense out a little bit. But I tell you what, just great job right there covering up those receivers in pursuit of the quarterback all the way near the Wildcat sideline. Huge stand to end this first half.
So that will bring us to halftime here at Hollister. And the Wildcats hanging on to a 1-point lead as they head to the locker room. As they head off the field, it's Cassville 21, Hollister 20. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the Talon Sports Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back at Hollister. The Cassville Wildcats leading the Hollister Tigers here at halftime, 21-20. Looking at the scoring summary from the first half. Wildcats got on the board first, 9:22 left to go in quarter number one. A 9-yard run by Trey Wilson. PAT by Littlefield made it 7-0 Wildcats. Hollister answered, though, with 5:28 left to go in the first. A 15-yard run by Blake Russell. PAT was good to tie the score at 7. Cassville responded. A 35-yard pass from Bodie Rose to Garrett Ewing. And then the PAT by Littlefield put the Wildcats up by 7. Hollister answers right back on a big 65-yard run by Blake Russell. PAT knotted the score at 14 with 1:32 to go in the first quarter. So 4 touchdowns in the first quarter of play here tonight.
Track meet.
We jump into the second quarter, and Hollister took their first lead of the night. Another touchdown run by Russell, his third of the half. This one from 21 yards out early on in the second. But the PAT was no good. A bad snap and a bad kick. And it was 20-14 Hollister. They took their first lead, but the extra point miss turned out to relinquish that lead because with 2:45 left to go in the half, a 1-yard run by Trey Wilson that capped off a 11-play, 80-yard drive, and that gave the Wildcats, after the Littlefield extra point, the lead back at 21-20, and that's where we stand here at halftime.
Yeah, and let's not forget, right at the end of the half, Sammy, the goal line stand of the Wildcats. Hollister has a football on the 5-yard line. The Wildcats keep them out of the end zone to take the lead, went to maintain the lead going in at halftime. Wildcats kicked off to start this football game. They're going to get it to start the second half. But a huge, just a track meet in the first half, Sam, especially the first quarter. Back and forth, down the field we go, into the end zone. Wildcats survive a couple of turnovers, get one of their own, and answer. Go into halftime on the road, game one, week one. Up 21-20, huge defensive stand that's got to create some momentum going into half and starting the second half of this football game.
Yeah, Hollister had 5 plays inside the 20-yard line and 4 plays inside the 5 as they got it down to the 3, lost about a yard and a half back to the 5, and then 3 more plays from there and could not punch it in.
Yeah, Wildcats just bowed their neck right there and would not be denied. They would not let the Tigers into the end zone. They caught a break as they tried a little fade pass in the end zone. Wildcat defender gets tripped up, falls down. Hollister wide receiver thinks he's still got a jump ball situation, doesn't realize the defender has fallen. He jumps and tries to make a play where really all he had to do was just stand and catch it.
Yeah, the ball was going to hit him right between the numbers.
And he tried to jump and come down with the football, unable to catch it. So the Wildcats caught a break right there. But other than that, the interior defense of the Wildcats holding strong, keeping the Tigers out of the end zone.
Tonight's halftime show brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. Family-owned and operated, Shoemaker Tire in Golden, Missouri has been serving their customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. Give them a call at 417-271-3490 or find them online at shoemakertire.com. 21-20, Cassville with the lead over Hollister here at halftime. Other scores we have around the Big 8 here in week number 1. Late in the second quarter, Reed Spring has a 7-0 lead over Monette. At halftime, Seneca on top of Aurora. That game at Kelly Field in Aurora. The Indians lead the Hound Dogs 24-8. A score from late in the first quarter, Mount Vernon with a 17-6 lead over McDonald County. At halftime, Rogersville over East Newton 14-7. Another halftime score, Lamar blasting Marshfield. The Tigers go on the road and they lead 41-0 over the Blue Jays at the break. And still in the first quarter, of course, Lamar, one of the favorites in the West in the Big 8. Nevada, also one of the favorites in the West in the Big 8 after after McDonald County lost so many players to graduation. Nevada is at Springfield Catholic, and they're still in the first quarter, 41-0, Nevada Tigers.
At least it was a first quarter score when we received it.
Right.
So I don't know where it's at right now. We'll have to do some updates before we start the second half, but those were all scores that we've got just a few minutes ago, and wow, talk about lighting up a scoreboard.
Well, we will take another break and let you hear from our sponsors as the halftime show continues here at Hollister. Cassville leading Hollister 21-20. You're listening to Wildcat Football here on the Talon Network. The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. And remember that the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. Sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care of Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. We continue on with the halftime show. It's brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. Shoemaker Tire has been a name you can count on for tires since 1961. Mark and the gang will have you up and running when you need a new set of tires, and they'll have you in no time flat back on the road, or just when you have no time for a flat, they can fix your tire and get you back running also. Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. 21-20, Cassville with the lead over Hollister here at the break. Looking at some of the first half numbers, first of all for the Tigers. Ran the ball 23 times for 212 yards, completed 4 of 10 passes for 68 yards for a total of 280 yards of offense. Hollister picking up 13 first downs. They had 1 turnover on an interception. They were penalized 3 times for 20 yards and punted once for 33 yards. Cassville, 19 rushes for 132 yards. They were 3 of 6 through the air for 56 yards for a total of 188. Wildcats picked up 11 first downs. They had 2 turnovers on fumbles. They were penalized 4 times for 20 yards and did not have to punt the football. Blake Russell, returning all-conference performer, ran for over 1,600 yards a year ago and 16 touchdowns for Hollister. He's got unofficially 145 yards in the first half and 3 scores for the Tigers. And also backing him up, the other running back, Colton Hale, 56 yards unofficially on the ground on 8 carries. And the leading receiver is Noah Richardson with 1 catch for 18 yards. And also Zach Noose, 1 catch for 23 yards. For the Cassville Wildcats, their leading ball carrier right now is the sophomore quarterback Bodie Rose. 7 carries, 65 yards in the first half. Trey Wilson has 33 yards on 6 carries and 2 touchdowns. Hernan Hernandez has a carry for 20 yards. And Bryson Jacobson, 19 yards on 5 carries. Garrett Ewing has 3 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown as well. And the Wildcats lead by 1 here at the break.
Wildcats trying to spread it around a little bit on offense. Really nice game out of young quarterback, sophomore quarterback Bodie Rose doing a good job running this offense, showing that athletic ability, to get to the edge on the quarterback sweeps and what have you. He's done a nice job times with the reads in the option game. Made a couple nice throws, made a couple so-so throws. But again, young quarterback, going to be a good one. He's playing a good half of football so far as well.
All right, it's time for tonight's Wildcat phrase that pays, and we're going to make it fairly simple for week number 1. The first person through on the phone lines with the phrase that pays gets 2 passes to B&B Theaters in Monette. All you have to do is call and say, "Let's go Wildcats." And the first person through, 489-2277. That's 489-2277. 489-2277. First person through on the phone lines. Let's go Wildcats, and you get 2 passes to B&B Theaters in Monette, our Wildcat phrase that pays. Also, we want to send along some thanks to a couple of guys behind the scenes that helped out tremendously getting us ready for week number 1. We've got some new equipment, some new software, a lot of new things. You probably noticed some of the new graphics on our web TV side of the broadcasts. And Dan Crouch from MDC in Monette and Sean Baker, our engineer, has helped us out a ton with our websites and getting the new software up and running for our web TV broadcast. And we want to send out a big thank you to both of those guys. Dan did a lot of work on the websites where you view the games with the graphics and the new things there that you've seen. It's got a new look to it at CassvilleWebTV.com. And you can go to radiotalent.com, click on the Web TV tab, and you can see some new look graphics there. Dan set all that up. And then Sean Baker, our engineer, was key. He, along with Janet Gandy, going over all of this new software, the new production truck and all of that, making sure it was getting up and running. And hopefully we are able to bring you a much better product this season. We've got a stronger signal. Seems like already we've got some clearer graphics. We've got some new things that you've probably seen on the screen already. And it's all part of our upgrades that we did going into 2022. And those 2 guys and Janet doing a great job getting all this set up. And Now Todd's over there manning the controls, running it all, and we're glad to be able to bring that to you for the 2022 season.
And that's really what's important in this whole thing, Sammy, is the ability for Todd to be able to use this efficiently. We don't want to make it too complicated. And he's doing a great job in the first half of the first game tonight. So, thank you to all of those folks. And I'm speaking for Todd right now, that his job has become much easier this year with the work that they put in.
Well, maybe a little bit, but he's got some new things he's got to keep up with over there too. So
we've
added a few tasks.
He's got a mouse and he's got some icons he can look at, and he can scoot over and click on them, put them up on the screen. Todd hasn't scratched the surface of what his capabilities will be this season with the video.
If he digs around in that new software enough, he might be able to figure out an instant replay, but I think that may be stretching it a little bit.
Yeah, I keep asking for it, and he keeps telling me it's too hard. So we'll see if he's able to get that done by the end of the season.
Our software might not have that capabilities, that's for sure. One other thing we want to touch on here before we go to the second half, the new district classifications came out yesterday, and Class 3, District 6 has an entirely different look to it than what a lot of football fans are going to be used to. Class 6, it's finally happened. Joplin and Kickapoo have been in 6 for a while. Nixon and Ozark kind of in and out. Well, they're both in Class 6 now with Joplin and Kickapoo, so they all are now Class 6 schools. But Class 3, District 6, it's long time been mostly Big 8 schools. Well, now it's down to 3. You've got Aurora, Cassville, and Reed Spring. Buffalo came in last year. Mountain Grove was in Class 3 last year, but they went back to Class 2. Monette's went back to Class 4. They were Class 4 a year ago. They were only in Class 3 1 year. But East Newton now Class 2, and they've been there for a while, Mount Vernon as well. But Springfield Catholic and now Seneca, along with Hollister, have gone to Class 2. So the Class 3 district in our area has really got a different look to it. Aurora, Cassville, Reed Spring, the 3 Big 8 schools. Then you got Buffalo, Clinton, and Osage. Clinton didn't even play varsity football last year.
Right.
They played JV. They're bringing back the varsity program, and now they're in the same district. So come district time, and I know it's a long ways out there at the end of October, but it'll have definitely a different look in 2022.
No question. And people that really pay attention to high school football, they wait and wait and wait for those numbers to come out and those assignments to be to come out. And I believe it came out this morning sometime. First game day of the season, they release it that morning. So it's interesting to look at and to see, the enrollment numbers for schools and what classifications they're going to be playing in this year. And
well, even after the expansion to the 14 teams,
right.
The majority of the Big 8 schools were still Class 3 schools.
Right.
But now you've only got 3 out of the 14 left in Class 3.
Right. It's
crazy.
It's an evolving.
The way the enrollment numbers have gone up and down.
And it will continue to evolve and change.
Well, that's what it's going to look at. All right, we've got our winner of the 2 passes to B&B Theater, Emma Hoppus, and we congratulate Emma and appreciate her listening to our broadcast tonight.
You know what movie's coming out in October, Sammy?
I do not.
In October.
Well, it's got to be a Halloween of some sort.
The new Halloween is coming out in October, and this one is Halloween Ends. We will see if it actually ends. But so excited. Emma, if you get a chance, you might. I think it's October 14th. That may be where you use those tickets.
Are you trying to coerce her into hanging on to those for a little while?
There you go.
21-20, Cassville with the lead here at halftime. That's going to conclude our Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, people you can trust for tires. You can visit them online at shoemakertire.com. Give them a call at 271-3490 or drop by and visit at Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. The Wildcats lead by a point. We need to take a timeout. Back with the third quarter. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back at Hollister, getting set to start the second half. Cassville leading the Hollister Tigers 21-20. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where with over 15 years of experience, they specialize in new, custom, and used pallets. They're backing the Wildcats all the way, and God we trust is their motto at J&M Pallet Company. Phone 847-6732. That's 847-6732. The Wildcats won the toss, so they have deferred their option to the second half. They lead by 1, and they will get the football to start the third quarter. Blake Russell tees it up, and dropping back deep, Bodie Rose and Trey Wilson to receive. Waiting for the official's whistle, and there he gets it. And he puts the ball in play. A little squib kick down the left hash this time, rolls inside the 20. Bodie Rose picks it up back at the 13, brings it up the near side, and is knocked out of bounds at the 26. And again, he may have been hit late, but no flag this time. It drew a flag the last time he got hit out of bounds, and good sportsmanship shown by one of the Hollister players, and that was Ty Bertrand as he run up and made sure Bodie Rose was okay. The Wildcats will take over 1st and 10 on the opening drive of the second half at their own 26-yard line.
Always interesting to see what these coaching staffs for both sides do when they come out after halftime, after dealing with a half of football, the adjustments that both sides make. It's always that cat and mouse, that chess game.
21-20 Cassville as we have our first play of the second half, and Rose with the I formation wants to run the football, gives it to Wilson, and Wilson is wrapped up by 2 and now 3 Hollister defenders, and he is able to fight back to the 26, and that is going to be all. No gain on the play.
Yeah, not much room to work there for Wilson. Took the handoff, immediate contact, and just a stalemate there.
So 2nd down and 10 facing Cassville. The ball at their own 26. Wildcats with a 1-point lead as we start the third quarter. Twin receivers go wide to the left. They bring a man in motion. That's the tight end Hadlow. He'll reset around to the left side. They pitch the ball that way. Bryson Jacobson gets the lead block from Wilson. Nice kick-out block, and Jacobson plunders his way across the 30 out to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, nice lead blocking right there. Again, that power sweep. The Wildcats like to run it. Jacobson going around that left edge. Made a nice cut off the block. Downfield he went.
It's a gain of 6, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 4. But Cassville quickly faced with a big 3rd down play here early on in the second half. Wildcats were 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversion tries back in the first half of play. 90 seconds into the second half, the Wildcats faced with 3rd and a long 4. Again, they reset the tight end Hadlow around to the right side, and they're going to run that direction. Rose is going to keep it behind a couple of blockers. Makes a nice cutback. He's got the first down out to the 40-yard line.
A really nice job. Been very impressed with Rose and his vision, ability to see a seam and make that immediate cut and hit that seam right there. He knew how much yardage he needed to get, found his seam, got across the first down yardage. Great job right there by the young quarterback.
The Wildcat First Down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in custom ag buildings. Check them out on Facebook or YouTube, and then call for a free quote at 888-364-9527. 1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 40. Still over 10 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Wildcats with a 1-point lead. Rose looking to throw, and he throws underneath, and the ball is off the fingertips of Hernan Hernandez. A little bit high. Hernandez had cut in front of the cornerback, and the pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, he had the position. Hernandez at the wide side of the field. Wildcats on the hash mark near the Hollister sideline. Hernandez all the way across the field near the Wildcat sideline, running that route just inside the corner. It's a long throw to make right there, but
what makes it a little tougher too, he had a lot of green in front of him too. If he could have got that football, he had a lot of space out there in the middle of the field.
Yeah, eyes might have wandered off of that football just a little bit right there.
So 2nd down and 10. Twin receivers to the left. 4-man front for the Tigers. Rose is going to run the football behind Trey Wilson. Makes another nice cutback, but this time the defensive pursuit from the backside drops him short of the 45 at the 44 after a pickup of 4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
Another big 3rd down early in the second half of this game.
Cassville with a 1-point lead here with 9:40 left to go in the third. Facing 3rd and long. Ball still in their territory at their own 44-yard line. Backfield split behind Bodie Rose. He's up under center, and he gives the ball to Wilson. Wilson running behind Jacobson. Jacobson with a nice lead block downfield, and Wilson pushes his way across midfield into Hollister territory and picks up a first down.
Hey, 3rd and 7 right there. Wildcats pull a little counter run. Going, starts left, comes back to the right. Great play call right there and great blocking up front. And you called it, Jacobson leading the way. Nice job and execution for this Wildcat offense.
Wildcat first down, once again brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. They're first in all your farm building needs. You can find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com and find examples of what they can custom build for you. Wildcats with their 13th first down of the night. This time inside Hollister territory at the Tiger 47. And Hollister calls for a timeout. Timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank. It's time to think about your bank. Do you want mobile banking, ATMs, multiple branches, and all types of loans, and still be able to go into a lobby and see your personal banker? You just described Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Take time out to look at Security Bank, member FDIC. The Cassville Wildcat broadcasting crew is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. They say thank you to all of their friends and customers in Southwest Missouri for over 25 wonderful years of business. Go Wildcats. Les Jacobs Ford, the junctions of 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. Online, lesjacobsford.com. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by MedicareDoneRight.net. Eric Seifert, your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare, health insurance plans, and more. MedicareDoneRight.net.
Looks like they're going along with the timeout, maybe use their water break here.
Yeah, we're at 8:50, a little bit early, but again, they have to stop once each quarter for a water break during the first 3 weeks of the season. Sometimes, depending on how the weather goes, we see it kind of carry over into one time we even saw it carry over into week 5. It was a hot and muggy night, but it's a good thing to keep the players hydrated and give them a little chance to rest and cool down. And one thing, don't want to jinx it right now, but we haven't seen any issues with cramping or anything like that, so these players have prepared themselves well for this season opener.
Well, you hope so, and hydration does not start the day of the game, as we all know,
So 1st and 10 Cassville at the Hollister 47. And Bodie Rose hands it off up the middle. Another dive play between the tackles. And Wilson plunges ahead to the 44-yard line, is able to pick up 3.
I tell you what, Wilson runs the ball awful hard. Not a big back himself. He's senior out of this backfield. Only 155 pounds according to this roster.
And he wasn't even supposed to start on the offensive side tonight. He got put into the backfield because of a couple of injuries to the Wildcats. So he's doing a nice job. He's got 45 yards unofficially and a couple of rushing touchdowns.
Absolutely. Tough kid, tough runner.
So 2nd down and 8 for Cassville. And they bring a man around. We got flags thrown at the line of scrimmage. Had a lot of movement there, and they're pointing towards the Wildcats. And it will be 5 yards marked off against Cassville.
And once again, those negative plays moving in the wrong direction, especially when you're moving the football a little bit here. Can't afford to have too many of those.
Well, this is the opening drive of the second half, and Cassville's held the ball for nearly 4 minutes already, which is good. But now they just got backed up closer to midfield. They're at the Hollister 49, facing 2nd down and about 12. Ewing goes wide to the left. They keep Wilson and Jacobson in the backfield. Bodie Rose up under center, gives the ball to Bryson Jacobson. Around the left end he goes, turns the corner. Somebody grabbed a hold of a handful of his jersey and drug him down, but he is able to pull that defender along for 2 or 3 yards, get back to the original line of scrimmage, but it'll bring up 3rd down.
Another tough run. These Wildcat runners are finishing off their runs. They're getting low and driving with those legs. Just waiting for one of those. We saw it a couple of times in the first half, just to catch that seam and get one to pop here for a chunk play.
So 3rd down and 10. Big play here for Cassville. Lone receivers right and left. 7.5 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and now Hollister's calling a timeout again.
Wow.
Cassville's throwing a different look at him every now and then, and his defense is either not recognizing it or maybe it's just not the formation he wants, and he has to use another timeout. So the timeout brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Security Bank. They have ATMs, mobile banking, debit cards, but also at Security Bank of Exeter, Wheaton, and Cassville, you sit across from a neighbor. Security Bank, member FDIC.
Well, we run through 2 timeouts this early in the second half.
I think they're wanting Todd to be able to use his new graphics.
He's flashing it across the screen. That's great.
It's like they always say, you know, you can't take them with you. You got to, if might as well use them. So they're allowing him to utilize those.
That's right.
21-20, Cassville with the lead. 7:37 left to go here in the third. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. J&M Pallet Company repairs used pallets, builds, and designs new and custom pallets. During this game and the games to come, Jeff reminds team members that through God, all things are possible. Phone J&M Pallet Company, 847-6732. So here we go, 3rd down and 10 from the Hollister 46-yard line. Wildcats with the football. Bodie Rose, straight drop, throws underneath. They got the screen, and it's caught, and it's inside the 40, and the man makes the corner at the 30, at the 20, blocker downfield, 10-5, touchdown, Cassville.
Great play call right there, little bubble screen right there to Ewing, I believe. Came across, the ball was on time from Rose. Ewing caught some nice blocks out in front of him, came from the Tiger sideline, worked his way across the entire field and raced up the Wildcat sideline and into the end zone. Another 3rd down play. This time the Wildcats, we talked about those chunk plays, they get one into the end zone. Huge play right there for the Wildcats.
And with that catch, Garrett Ewing goes over 100 yards receiving on the night. That one good for 46 yards and a Wildcat score. His 2nd touchdown reception of the night. And the kick by Littlefield is on the way, and it is good. So Garrett Ewing, unofficially now, 102 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Bodie Rose is 4 for 8 and 2 scores. A 10-play, 74-yard drive, took 4.5 minutes off the clock, and the Wildcats extend their lead to 28-20. Cassville Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. If you're at the lake, stop by and see the folks at Willis Insurance in Shell Knob in the Bridgeway Plaza. For all of your auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance needs, call the Shell Knob location at 858-3747. And the Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by the Barbecue Station. Get your bib on at the Barbecue Station and enjoy some great tasting barbecue. 900 Main in Cassville. Call them for your next catered event at 847-0470. Peter Littlefield set to kick the ball off for Cassville. Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. With the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic, it features custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. With Baywash, a clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. So a nice opening drive. Took a decent amount of time off the clock. Overcame a penalty.
They take the thing is, the Wildcats take that momentum from the defensive stand heading into halftime. They come out, move the chains a couple of times in 3rd down situations, and execute a screen play right here, a little bubble screen to Ewing. Down the sideline he goes. Huge play into the end zone. Big score. And as you know, 2 timeouts in that series by the Hollister Tigers. If you don't think these coaches realize how important every possession is, you don't know football. They're trying to stop these Wildcats, and right now Wildcats are clicking.
Huge kickoff by Peter Littlefield. Drives it over the head of Ty Bertrand and into the end zone for a touchback. So Hollister, with their first possession of the second half, they're going to start at their own 20-yard line. (28-20), Cassville with the lead. Not quite halfway through quarter number 3. Next week, the Wildcats will be at home for their home opener. We'll be along for the call as the Aurora Hound Dogs come to town. Still got a quarter and a half left to go here in Hollister. Kalovich with receivers all over the place, one back in the backfield, and that is Hale. And Hale breaks a tackle at the 25, breaks another at the 30, takes it out to the 34-yard line and picks up a first down.
Yeah, strong backs, strong runs. We talked about both of the Hollister backs quite a bit in the first half, and there's just another example of just powerful running by these Tiger running backs.
70 yards unofficially now for Colton Hale on 9 carries. Picks up the Hollister first down at the Tiger 34-yard line. Kalovich stays in the shotgun. Again, they give the ball to Hale. This time he tries the right edge. Little quick hitter out to the 38, maybe the 39. Looks like they will give him the 39 for a gain of 5. So good yardage picked up on first down. Clock continues to move down to 6:35 left to play here in quarter number 3. Cassville leading 28-20.
Wildcat defense in a 4-4 set, 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers, 3 in the secondary.
Running back off of each hip of Kalovich, and he gives the ball to Russell. First time he's touched the ball here in the second half. He ran for 145 yards in the first half. And Cassville does a good job of not allowing him to break free there. He does get the 42-yard line, but a gain of only 3.
Yeah, certain players, Sammy, when you watch football games at any level, certain players get lots and lots of attention. And Blake Russell is one of those players. When he's on the field, these defenders, they're trying to find him first. Where's he at? Keep an eye on that guy and follow him wherever he goes.
After the 3-yard pickup, it'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 from the 42 of the Tigers. Kalovich with 1 back this time. It's Hale, and he gets the call. Right up the middle he goes, and he has the first down. Lowers the shoulders and drives out across the 45 to the 47. Hale with another strong run, and once again will move the chains for the Tigers.
Hale, the bigger of the 2 backs, we've talked about a little bit, and certainly at 185 pounds, you see those strong legs and the way he uses them when he runs the football, just gets down and drives.
So 1st and 10 Tigers at their own 47.5-yard line. Cassville with an 8-point lead here with 5 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. Kalovich this time up under center, brings a man in motion. That's Noose. Gives the inside handoff, and Hale wanted to go up the middle. Now he breaks it to the outside, and a penalty flag thrown behind the play as Hale is wrapped up out here on the near sideline at the 49-yard line. He did get into Cassville territory, but the flag thrown back around the 47 or 48. And we've got a holding call, so that'll take 10 yards against the Tigers and move it back to, looks like the we'll call it 38-yard line.
Big call right there. Tackle on the play. Looked like that was linebacker Jared Reynolds. Nice job in pursuit. Bring out a tough running back right there.
30 yards worth of penalties on 4 flags tonight against the Tigers. We'll see if Cassville can utilize that penalty to stall out this drive. Hollister was starting to get a little rhythm going and moving the football, so we'll see if that holding penalty can derail this possession with 5 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. Yeah. Cassville leading by 8.
Big opportunity for this Wildcat defense.
So first in a bundle now, and Kalovich looking to go up top. He throws it to the Hollister sidelines, and going up for grabs between the receiver and Trey Wilson. Wilson got a hand in and knocked it down as he bats the ball away from Talon Rankin.
Yeah, so much of playing corner is technique, and a great job right there by Wilson to go up as the receiver was high pointing that football. Wilson went up, was able to knock it away from between the receiver's hands. Big time play right there by Wilson.
So 2nd down and about 23 to go for the Tigers. And Kalovich all alone in the backfield now. They've got trip receivers to the right. Russell all alone out here to the left, trying to hide over here in the Hollister sidelines. Now he comes in motion. And are they going to give him the ball? Yes, they do. Inside handoff and trying to get to the edge. Turns it upfield. He's out across the 45, breaks the tackle, and is run out of bounds out around the 50-yard line. We'll see where they say he stepped on the sideline over on the Cassville bench. And it looks like they're going to put him out of play just shy of midfield. The nose of the football may be touching the 50.
Wildcat corner was able to come up and have a shot at Russell in the backfield, but you want to talk about a tough person to tackle on the open field, and Russell is one of those guys. He's able to make a move, get to the Wildcat sideline, and turn the corner. Stepped out of bounds. Wildcats catch a break right here. Big 3rd down for the Wildcats.
It was a gain of 12. He got about half of what they needed, but still 3rd down and 8 to go. Kalovich fakes the handoff, looking to throw. The screen is caught underneath right at the line of scrimmage, and then the receiver, Hale, is taken to the ground at the 48-yard line of the Wildcats, and it will bring up 4th down. Big defensive play there by Cassville.
Yeah, nice play right there on the screenplay by Jacobson. Able to track Hale down and drop him. 4th down just across midfield. And it looks like Hollister changing personnel right here. Tigers appear to be set to punt the football.
And they thought about it for just a minute, but now it looks like they're going to punt it away. They've only punted once tonight. And Cassville will drop Hernandez back inside his own 20-yard line. The kick is high, and Hernandez calling for a fair catch. It goes through his legs, but then he dives on the football back at the 9-yard line. And there is a flag.
Flag in the middle of the field, right about the 27-yard line. See here, a lot of times flags there, maybe a block in the back.
It is going to be a block, illegal use of the hands against Cassville, so that's going to back them up closer to their own goal line. 43-yard kick, no return.
Wildcat defense holds, gets the football back in the offense hand. A little deeper in their own territory than they would like to be right now. 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
So they will move it from the 9 back to the 4.
Wildcats right now going to start the 4-yard line. They're just going to try to give themselves some breathing room initially here.
Cassville's turned the ball over twice, both of those back in the first half, and now protection of the football is going to be key for the Wildcats, leading by 8 with 4 minutes left to go in the 3rd. Split formation behind Bodie Rose, and they're going to run the football, and a big hole up the middle, and Bodie Rose is out in the open. He's across the 20, across the 30, makes a cutback at the 40, and then is knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. A slow developing play, but a hole opened up for Bodie Rose right up the middle, and the next thing you know, he's out in the open, picking up a Wildcat first down all the way out near midfield, and there's that breathing room you were talking about.
Huge play, and again, his ability to see what's going on in front of him, finding that the smallest of seams, he's able to shoot through it. Next thing you know, he's 20 yards down the field and on the run. Huge play right there to dig the Wildcats out of a field position hold. And Wildcats ready to strike again. Great play.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in metal roofing. Look them up on Facebook or YouTube and request a free quote. That run puts Bodie Rose over 100 yards on the night. He gives off on first down to Bryson Jacobson, and Jacobson made one man miss but couldn't make the next. And he is dropped for no gain at the 45. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Wildcats trying to go off that left edge that time. Not much room for Jacobson to work right there. Was able to get back, as you said, to that line of scrimmage, right in the middle of the football field.
There are several Wildcats going to make it tough on us tonight, trying to find a player of the game.
Right.
I mean, we got 2 guys with 2 touchdowns apiece. We got a quarterback with over 120 yards of rushing. It's going to be an entertaining 4th quarter if this keeps up. 2nd down and 10 for Cassville. Rose this time almost looked like he wanted to take the ball back, but the running back, Wilson, kept hold of it and plows ahead to the 47 and picks up 2 yards. And it will bring up 3rd down and 8. Another big 3rd down play here for Cassville. Wildcats not nearly as successful here in the second half as in the first half on 3rd down conversions. But the one thing Wildcats have done, have held on to the football quite a bit here in the 3rd quarter. We're down to 2.5 left to go in quarter number 3. The Wildcats leading 28-20. Twin receivers wide to the left. That is Riley Rourke and Garrett Ewing, and they're going to run the football that way. And Hollister does a nice job of getting defenders into the running lanes, and they stretch it out to the sidelines and drop Bodie Rose back at the 45 for a loss of 2.
Yeah, some Wildcats have had a lot of success with the quarterback sweep tonight. This time, sometimes the defense just puts the right call on, and right there, Hollister Tigers, they put the right call on. And the Wildcats have the punting unit on the football field.
Blake Russell, along with Colton Hale, dropped back to receive the kick of Hernandez. Last time, Hernandez faked the kick and was able to pick up a first down. This time, Hollister not going to let that happen. And the kick goes over the head of Russell. He picks it up back at the 10, gets away from one man, but then is brought down quickly by Jared Reynolds. And Hollister will take over at their own 11-yard line.
Really nice job, Wildcats. Essentially, they just flipped the field. They've got field position back in their favor right here, so pretty nice job.
Ends up being a 45-yard kick. And it's 1st and 10 Tigers at their own 11. Minute 46 left to go, third quarter. Cassville with an 8-point lead. Kalovich from the shotgun. Brings Russell in motion. Fakes the handoff to him. Looking downfield, and he lets her fly. Throws into double coverage, and the catch is made by Aiden Kimmel out near the 30-yard line, and that will be good for a first down.
A nice throw, nice catch right there in traffic. The first big pass completion for the Tigers tonight. Get themselves out of a hole.
It's a gain of 20. And the Tigers out at their own 31-yard line. 1st and 10 Hollister. We're down to 90 seconds left to go, third quarter. Twin receivers to the short side. And Hale that way as well, but he's going to run back against the grain to the wide side of the field. And Colton Hale tripped up after a pickup of only a yard, maybe 2. And we've got an injured Tiger. That might be Hale.
Maybe Hale.
He get his leg wrapped up underneath him on that tackle. We'll have to wait and see. The medical staff going to come out and attend to him.
It's like the cramp issue that we spoke about in the first half.
The announcer's jinx trying to take over here.
Yes. They're working on that. Looks like right calf of Mr. Hale.
He's got unofficially 82 yards now on 12 carries. Again, tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. They customized pallets to fit your needs. Their motto is "In God We Trust." Jeff is an avid Wildcat supporter, and he's just a call away at 847-6732. That's 847-6732. Well, while they attend to the injured Tiger, we'll take a quick break and let you hear from our sponsors. Back with more at Hollister right after this. Cassville leading the Tigers 28-20. Gainer down the sidelines, and it's going to be a foot race. One man to beat, and Ewing is not going to catch him, and he takes it to the house. And Hollister strikes from long range for the second time tonight.
And that's just straight speed right there, Sammy, able to get to the edge and down that sideline. Big hitter down the Wildcat sideline.
It was number 27. We have not called his name tonight as they handed it off to him, and that was K.K. Conway taking it the distance, and Hollister draws to within 2. A 67-yard touchdown run by K.K. Conway. He is a freshman, too. And Hollister going to try to get that missed extra point back. They're lining up to go for 2. Kalovich fakes the handoff underneath. Pass over the middle is no good, incomplete. So it remains a 2-point lead for Cassville. '67-yard touchdown run for Conway. And it's back to 2-point advantage now for Cassville, 28-26 with 56 seconds left to play here in the third quarter.
Talk about speed. That was some speed down that sideline right there.
So 2 big plays. One in the first half, one here in the second half for Hollister. It's got them right back into things here. 28-26, Cassville hanging on to the lead. One thing we want to remind you about, too, is our Apple and Google apps. If you're listening or watching the game on your phone, have downloaded the free apps from Talon Sports. The Apple and Google phone apps are courtesy of White Funeral Home in Cassville. At White Funeral Home, they measure their success by the satisfaction of the families they serve. You can listen to the Wildcats on Apple and Google phone apps from White Funeral Home and Crematory. Let them help lighten your load. So only 3 plays, 89 yards, and Hollister strikes. So suddenly we've got a tight contest again. It's never been lopsided by any stretch of the imagination. But now it's back down to 2 points. Kickoff fielded back at the 13-yard line by Bodie Rose. He brings it out across the 20, across the 25, down the sidelines, and here goes Rose across the 40. Finally pushed out of bounds, out around midfield. We'll see where the side judge says he stepped on the sidelines. And Cassville's return game has been really shining tonight.
Strong.
And it'll be 1st and 10 Cassville at their own 49.
Done a great job, whether it's punt return, kick return. Very obvious that the Wildcats work on it extremely hard, and it pays off. Certainly has paid off in field position this game.
Yeah, because you're looking at about another 35 to 40-yard return there, and Cassville has had numerous long returns on kicks here this evening that have set them up in good field position. So 1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 49, 48 seconds left to go in the third. They lead by 2. They give them the inside handoff. I believe it was Wilson, as he has predominantly been in the backfield along with Jacobson, and it was Trey Wilson. Pushes across midfield into Hollister territory. Goes from 149 to the other and picks up 2 yards.
Clock ticking down in the third quarter, under 30 seconds here. This is the time where that Wildcat offensive line, you got to dig down, you got to fire off that football, and you got to get a push up front. You got to get something. You can't stalemate. You got to get a push, give these backs some room to work.
So 2nd down and 8, what should be the final play of the third quarter. We're under 10 seconds and counting. Twin receivers to the right, short side of the field. Rose hands the ball to Jacobson, and he takes a lick right at the line of scrimmage and then fights his way to the 48, picks up a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and that'll be the final play of quarter number 3. As we head to the fourth, the Wildcats lead the Tigers 28-26. We'll be back with quarter number 4 after this. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you at Hollister. We move to the fourth quarter. Tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by First State Bank. They came to Main Street in Cassville to help their friends and neighbors reach their financial goals. Convert an opportunity into a reality at First State Bank in Cassville, 28-26. Cassville with the lead over Hollister as we start the fourth quarter. Some other scores from around the Big 8. It's over at Kelly Field in Aurora. Seneca beats the Hound Dogs 44-8. Also finals, Lamar knocking off Marshfield 48-0. And Nevada blasts Catholic 62-7. In the third quarter, Rogersville leads East Newton 21-7. Mount Vernon on top of McDonald County 24-7 in the fourth. And halftime score was the last time we got an update from the Reed Spring Monette game. They started a little later than us. They were a little more delayed by the weather. It's 7-0 Wolves over the Cubs. Third down and long for Cassville. Under pressure, Rose gets the pass away. It's caught by Ewing, but he cannot pick up the first down as good defense by Ty Bertrand. So it was 1-11 against the other. And Bertrand denied Ewing picking up the first down. It'll bring up 4th and 1.
4th and a yard. Big call right here. That's a solid yard they're looking at right here. Wildcats may try to get the Tigers to jump here. We'll see. This is a huge play call.
Right now they're lining up and appear to go for it. Second play of the fourth quarter, and Jacobson takes the handoff and around the end he goes and dives inside the 40 and picks up the first down.
Wow, gutsy play call right there. A lot of trust in that offensive line and those backs to pick that up. Jacobson taking it, following a couple lead backs off the left edge, picking up that first down. Big time first down here just in the fourth quarter.
The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal, first in custom ag buildings. You can also look online as they can custom farm buildings for your needs. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. They spot him down at the 40 after a pickup of 2, and it's 1st and 10 Cassville. Bodie Rose fakes the handoff. Here goes Rose through the defense. He's inside the 30 down to the 29. Another quick hitter by Bodie Rose, and he picks up another Cassville first down. It's brought to you by Superior Metal, first in metal roofing. Look them up on Facebook and YouTube and request a quote, 888-364-9527.
Rose again, great run going off the right side right there. Young quarterback, sophomore, no fear. He takes over the football. There's no fear in his game, and runs the ball exceptionally hard.
Unofficially 132 yards now on the ground for Bodie Rose. 1st and 10 Cassville at the Hollister 29-yard line. 11 minutes left to go in the football game. Cassville leading by 2. Split backfield, twin receivers to the right. Rose under center, gives the ball to Wilson. He's got a lead blocker. He's got Jacobson. He breaks it free at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown Cassville.
Great play call right there, great design, and great blocking out in front of that play. Wilson reading those blocks, 3, 4, 5 yards down the field, cutting off those blocks, cut in between 2 defenders and into the end zone. Huge play, big-time score right there for the Wildcats.
Cassville with a quick strike of their own from 29 yards out, as Wilson picks up his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. And now Littlefield in to attempt the point after. Snap back, ball down, the kick is on the way, and it is good. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. On the square in Cassville and in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Stop by or call 847-3300 Willis Insurance, your trusted choice insurance agent. The Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by the Barbecue Station. Check out the Marple Bowl. It's a legend at the Barbecue Station, 900 Main in Cassville. Call 847-0470 for all your catering needs. So the 3rd rushing touchdown for Wilson, this one from 29 yards out. That gives him 78 yards on 12 carries. Cassville striking for the 2nd time on 3 possessions here in the second half. A 10-play, 74-yard drive, and that one a 6-play, 51-yard drive that took only 2 minutes.
And 2-possession game at this point, Sammy. So that's
and
big.
That was right after the huge, big play, nearly 70 yards, that Hollister had pulled the game to within 2. Each time, it seems like, boy, it's just like they keep taking swings at each other and trying to knock each other down. And
heavyweight fight.
Gets right back up and answers the bell once again.
You bet. With that score and extra point, again, makes this a 2-possession game.
And that is big, the way this game is going right now. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. A big kick by Littlefield drives the return man all the way back to the 1-yard line. It looks like his back foot stepped into the end zone. He was trying to return it, Ty Bertrand, but he broke the plane, and it'll be a touchback.
Well, Littlefield's done a great job tonight, Sammy, kicking the football, kicking off, and being money on those extra points. That last extra point is huge in this football game.
Again, tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by First State Bank in Cassville. They came to Main Street in Cassville over 25 years ago, and they came to help their friends and neighbors reach their financial goals. First State Bank in Cassville bringing you tonight's fourth quarter. 10:45 left to go in the game. Cassville leading 35-26. Kalovich gives the ball to the second man through, and that was Russell on the call. Takes it out to the 22. Picks up 2 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
And nice job defensively right there as your linemen, your linebackers are eating up those blockers. Hernandez able to come in from the secondary, get into the legs of Russell, and bring him down. Really nice play there.
So second down and long facing the Tigers. Cassville staying with the four-man front. Kalovich from the shotgun, fakes the handoff underneath. It rolls to his left, looking to throw. Has a little bit of time, and now he's forced to move. Gets a block, and Kalovich having to run with the football, and he does make it back to the line of scrimmage. I thought he was going to be stopped short at the 20, but second effort by Kalovich as he used those legs to push forward, and he does get back to the 22 and avoids the loss.
Well, Wildcats bringing all kinds of pressure right there, and to get that kind of pressure, your secondary's got to be doing something right. Nowhere to go with the football. Wildcats ultimately bring him down, force him to use up some clock, make these guys earn points. Don't give up big chunk plays right here.
Another big third down play. 3rd down and 8 here with 9:50 left to go. Hollister inside their own 25. Trips to the left. One back in the backfield. Kalovich underneath, and a ball through the hands of the intended receiver, Ethan Wright. He had a little seam over there just inside the left hash. Could not catch the football, and it'll bring up 4th down.
It was a bullet out there to him. If he's able to secure that, there's a lot of green out in front of him, but Wildcats very fortunate right there. Big 3rd down play. We got a 4th down. Wildcats look to be getting the football back here. The punt team is on the field, but you never know when you're on the road what might happen here, so you got to pay attention to everything around you. Be heads up here. Don't turn your head and run.
Yeah, because we've already seen Cassville catch Hollister a little bit off guard and turned a punt situation into a 1st down. So now Bodie Rose going to sneak up a little bit to provide some defensive help. Hernandez is going to be back by himself, and he catches the ball at the 36-yard line. Called for the fair catch.
It's all right. That's okay. Secure the football. Get it in your offense's hands. Nice job right there with the Wildcat defense to get the ball back. Again, the extra point after the touchdown, making this a 2-possession football game. Wildcats now have the ball back on offense. Just under 10 minutes to go here in the football game.
42-yard kick, no return. As the punt unit for Hollister has been doing a nice job pushing the ball down the field. And Cassville will have it 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. Cassville leading 35-26. Pair of receivers to the left. Rose is going to run the football as he fakes the handoff. And he's still on his feet. No whistles, and now finally the whistles sound to stop the play. And yeah, when the play drags on that long, you really have to secure that football because you know all those defenders are trying to reach in and rip it away.
No doubt. Both hands around the ball when you're in that kind of traffic. But again, another hard run there by Rose.
And he's able to pick up 7.5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and short.
Wildcats going to burn some clock here. Try to use as much as they can. Just keep the chains moving. Right here, you have that conversation with that offensive line, guys. Hey, it's gut check time. Get physical up front. Give us a little push. Give us a surge here. Let us work.
So 2nd down and short. They give the ball to Wilson. Cuts it back and moves it across the 45. Comes up just shy of the 1st down. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Keep in mind in this game, too, the Tigers burned 2 timeouts very early in the second half. They've got 1 remaining in the game, so they're not going to be able to stop the clock much.
We're down to 8.5 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Cassville leading 35-26. 3rd down and about a foot to go for the Wildcats. Cassville is still looking for that first 3rd down conversion here in the second half, but they did convert a 4th down. And the quarterback keeper right up the middle, surge by the offensive line, should have enough for the 1st down. And
nice job.
They get what they need as they push it ahead to the 47 and pick up 2. The Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in commercial or farm buildings. You can call for a free quote at 888-364-9527.
A great job up front there. Got just enough. Quarterback sneak. Move the chains. Keep the clock moving here.
Almost got 3 yards as the nose of the football touching the 48-yard line. Closing in on 8 minutes left to play. 1st and 10, Cassville. Twin receivers to the right side. They give to Wilson. He tries the short side of the field. Slips one tackle at the line of scrimmage, but is run out of bounds over on the Cassville sideline. We'll see if they give him the 49. Looks like they're going to put it back at the 48, so no gain.
Wilson working the short side of the field over near the Wildcat sideline, tried to bounce it to the outside, defended pretty well there by the Tigers.
The one negative, he got pushed out of bounds and the clock stopped with 7:54. Cassville leading 35-26 here. A little less than 8 minutes left to go in the football game. Second down and basically 10. Rose this time going to run it himself. Fakes the handoff and then sprints around the right end. Moves it across midfield into Hollister territory down to the Tiger 48. So it's a gain of 4 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
Fake to the fullback, turn in basically behind him, straight down the field.
So here we go, 3rd down play again for Cassville. 7:30 left to go in the ball game. Wildcats leading 35-26. Play clock down to 15. Receiver split right and left this time. And Rose with one back in the backfield. They bring a man in motion. Rose is going to run the option, turns the corner, keeps the football, takes on contact, and falls forward to the 43-yard line. Is going to be close, but it looks like he comes up just a little bit short, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Almost identical to the last 4th down play the Wildcats had.
Yep, they put his knee down at the 44, so it wasn't quite as good as what I thought. It's a gain of only 4 yards.
Yeah, that's about 2 yards right there. So we'll see what happens right here. Coach Weldy did not hesitate to go for it last time. See what he pulls out of the bag right here.
So 4th and nearly 2 to go with 6.5 left to play in the ball game. Wildcats leading 35-26. Full house backfield as they go with the wishbone formation, and Rose going to run in behind all of those blockers, and he turns the corners, got the first down, and takes it out of play down around the 35-yard line. They ran to the short side, and
we got a flag.
We got a flag way back here near midfield.
Great effort there to get the yardage, but the flag in the backfield, not where you like to see those flags thrown.
And we've got a conversation going on right now with the officiating crew.
Yeah.
We've got 2 or 3 guys talking to each other, and now they say holding against Cassville, and that's going to move the ball all the way back to the Wildcat 42-yard line as the flag was thrown at the 48 of the Tigers.
That's going to change your play call here. Wildcats will certainly bring the punt team on now.
So a big holding penalty there called after it appeared Cassville had converted on 4th down.
Yeah, tough one. What the Wildcats were able to do somewhat in that drive is eat more clock.
6:23 left to play. Cassville leading 35-26. Hernan Hernandez calls for the ball. Rush coming. He gets the kick away. Nice kick down the right hash. Bounces, goes over the head of the return man. Still going towards the other end of the field and finally recovered inside the 5 as the ball bounced away from Ethan Wright. And then it started doing the funny things that footballs do. They kind of bounce this way, bounce that way, and Wright could not pick it up and finally had to fall on it back at the 4-yard line.
He wanted to come up and field it on that first bounce. It just bounced over his head. Then he reached out and actually touched the football with his hand. Now it's live. So it was a race to the ball. The Tigers fortunate to fall on it, but man, way back.
They're actually going to put it at the 5.
Right in the nose of the football at the 5-yard line.
Ends up being a 52-yard kick, and Hollister deep in their own territory. They trail by 9 with 6 minutes left to play, and the officials having another conversation, this time on the far side of the field, but it's with head coach Clay Weldy. He wants to have some clarification about something. And now they've got a sideline warning issued to Cassville. That's what they had dropped a flag over there, I guess. And so they had issued a sideline warning to Cassville. So now we're about ready to go once again. 6:13 left to play, 35-26, Wildcats with the lead.
Once again, lots of football field to go here for the Tigers. The Wildcats need to make life difficult moving the ball down the field, make them use that clock.
Kalovich hands the ball off, and over the right side comes the ball carrier, and that was Hale. And Hale moves it ahead out to the 13, gives the Tigers a little bit of breathing room, but the running play has the clock running inside 6 minutes.
Hale back in the game. He was our first casualty to the cramping issue. Came off a little bit earlier in this half, but now back on the field in the backfield.
So second down, about 2.5 yards to go, just inside the 13-yard line of the Tigers. Twin receivers out to the left. Ball is snapped low at the feet of Kalovich, but he picks it up and gets the handoff completed. And once again, it's Hale on the carry. And this time he is able to push ahead to the 14-yard line, picks up only one, and it'll bring up third down and almost 2 to go.
Really nice job along that defensive line there for the Wildcats. Not much room to go. Good job.
So a huge third and short play here for Hollister with less than 5 minutes to go in the football game, and they trail by 9. Snap goes to Kalovich. He's looking to run in behind a couple of blockers. He's got the first down, breaks a tackle across the 20, runs through another at the 30, and takes it all the way out to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers.
Defensive lineman, freshman DJ Glidewell. DJ Glidewell, freshman, D-tackle, 5'8", 240 pounds, just saved a touchdown for his defense, racing from the line of scrimmage to the sideline of the Tigers to make that play. That's impressive.
It's a gain of 22 for Kalovich and a first down for the Tigers. 4:56 left to go in the fourth quarter. 35-26, Cassville with the lead. They've got everyone in tight. They bring Russell in motion, fake the handoff to him. Kalovich over the middle, and he overthrows the intended receiver. Noose had gotten behind the defender, and that time Kalovich, who is for most part tonight, has been putting the ball right where he needs to. His receivers haven't been able to catch it. And now tonight, he had a guy open, and he throws it out in front of him.
A couple times he's thrown the ball a little too far out front right there. The tight end, big tight end, had got, as you said, behind the linebacker, nobody in his way, and that ball about 3 yards too far in front of him.
So second down and 10 now from the Hollister 35-yard line. Kalovich fakes the handoff, quick pass over the middle, caught by Russell, and then he is stuck at the 42-yard line. Jared Reynolds with a nice hit along with, was it Reynolds?
That was Reynolds, I believe.
Yep. And Joseph Burton was the other player there, but Reynolds is the one that stuck the helmet in him.
That's how you make a tackle right there. Great job by Reynolds.
So 3rd and 2, and they dump it off to Noose, and Noose breaks a tackle and picks up the first down, still on his feet at the 50, and takes it into Cassville territory down to the 45, and then the ball comes free. There's a scramble for it. Hollister falls on it as it is recovered by another one of their big guys, the other tight end, Noah Richardson.
Yeah, those two, they're Noose, 230 pounds, and guys just bouncing off of him out there. He's a tough player.
So Kalovich this time gives it to Hale. Hale with a hole up the middle, races inside the 40 down to the 35, finally dropped at the 34. It's a pickup of nearly 11 yards and another Tiger first down.
Clock will continue to run as soon as the ball is set, right at 4 minutes left in this game. Ball on the right hash mark.
Hollister going with the hurry up here, and a flag comes out. They dump off the screen pass to Hale. He is hit at the 30 and then pushes ahead down to the 26-yard line, but a flag thrown on the far side of the field.
We will see what the call is here. And it looks like it's going against the Tigers. Big break right there.
Yeah, they were very close to another first down, and now the penalty is going to be bringing it back. And it moves it back to the 39-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 15. So here we go, 1st and 15 with 3:44 left to go. Cassville leading 35-26. And now Cassville calling for a timeout. Timeout on the field, brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Any bank can cash checks, accept deposits, and make loans, but the distinguishing factor between banks is their level of service to their customer. Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. All the decisions are made locally by a talented local bank staff. Security Bank, member FDIC. Again, don't forget tonight's Google and Apple phone apps, courtesy of White Funeral Home. White Funeral Home and Crematory, they're always there to help. White Funeral Home in Cassville. And your broadcast team brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. With years of auto body repair experience, they're your choice for also genuine Ford service and parts at very affordable rates. Les Jacobs Ford, Highway 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville, online at lesjacobsford.com.
A good time for a timeout right there by head coach Clay Weldy. Not only does he get the chance to get his guys on the same page, but I tell you what, it is muggy out here, and it is draining, and you can see some of those Wildcat defenders breathing a little bit heavy out there. Give them a chance to get some water, take a break right here, kind of rally the troops and get ready to go here in this last 3.5 minutes of the football game.
Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by MedicareDoneRight.net. Your agent, Eric Seifert, is your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare. MedicareDoneRight.net. So 1st and 15, or actually about 14. With 3:38 left to play, the ball resting at the Cassville 39-yard line. The Wildcats leading the Tigers 35-26. Kalovich from the shotgun gives on the inside handoff, and there comes KK Conway, the guy that had the big run for a touchdown earlier here in the half. This time is bottled up. He takes it inside the 35 down to the 34 and is able to pick up only 5 yards.
Conway hasn't carried the football much tonight. There's a couple of backs ahead of him that are pretty talented, but right there, I mean, he was upended and was somehow able to get a foot back on the ground or maintain bounce, stay on his feet.
So 2nd down and 10 from the Cassville 34. We're down to 3.5 left to play. Wildcats leading 35-26. Twin receivers to the left, fake the inside. Oh, they give it to Conway again. I thought he was going to pull it away from KK Conway, but he hands it off to the freshman, and he makes a quick turn upfield, takes it down to the 20. Nope, looks like they're going to give him the 28. It started to say the 27, but the 28. So it's a gain of 6, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 3. And they go with the hurry-up. Pass thrown and caught by Russell. Russell has the first down, breaks a tackle at the 20-yard line, and then is shoved out of bounds down around the 15.
Got a big play on 3rd down right there. The out route. Throw put in the right place. Russell made the catch, turned the corner, broke a tackle. His backs for the Tigers have done that quite a bit tonight. They're breaking that first contact. You've really got to wrap up these guys. Gets down, also gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
It's a gain of 13 down to the 15-yard line. And that is the first 3rd down conversion for the Tigers here in the second half. Only their 2nd of the game, but it comes at a big time here with 3 minutes remaining. Cassville on top 35-26, and Hollister trying to get some points on the board. So 1st and 10 from the Cassville 15-yard line. Kalovich with a quick drop, another fade pattern. This time he throws it way out of bounds as the pressure was coming up the middle. Good job by the defense for Cassville. Really got a good shove through the middle of the Hollister offensive line and forced Kalovich to unload that football.
Yeah, good position in the backfield, defensive backfield there by Hernandez as well. Positioning and technique, huge in the secondary.
So 2nd down and 10 facing Hollister. Cassville leading 35-26 here. 3 minutes left to play. Twin receivers to the left. Kalovich takes it back to the right, now looks back to the left as they try to set up the screen, and they got a man open, and they got a touchdown, it appears, but a flag comes out. And we've got another penalty thrown behind the play, and this one, again, may be costly to the Tigers.
I think it's going to take these points off the board, I believe. That's a holding penalty. We'll see what the officials say here.
They're having a little.
And the Tiger offense sure thinks it's on them as they're moving backward. I believe that's a hold. They're going to have a holding call here, take points off the board.
Penalty flag was thrown at the 11. Now they're waving it off. They pick it up and wave it off. The holding call. Well, now he just signaled holding. So what's going on?
Is there more than one
there
flag?
There may be another flag out there somewhere that we neglected to see. And Coach Johnson from Hollister is wanting to know what's going on. He says one official's waving flags off. They call it holding, but there was actually two flags on the play.
And the holding call is going to stick. So,
yep, and that moves
points
it
off the board
and moves
Big
it back
play.
to the 20-yard line.
Costly penalty right there.
That's got Cassville fans breathing a sigh of relief. It'll bring up 2nd down and 15 with 2:53 left to play. 50 yards worth of penalties tonight on 6 flags against the Tigers. So Kalovich from the shotgun, fakes it to Hale, rolls to his right, throws underneath. The catch made by Russell, trying to make a man miss, and 2 defenders there to make the stop.
Nice job. Looked like Ruark and Hernandez right there to bring him down immediately. Great play.
Spot him down at the 17 after a pickup of 3. We're down to 2.5 left to play. Hollister trying to hurry up here on 3rd down and 12. Kalovich, straight drop, looks into the end zone, pressured out of the pocket now. They get to him, and they bring him down at the 16-yard line.
Nice job. Freshman Glidewell in the middle of that as well. But that defensive line, that pocket just collapsed all around the Tiger quarterback. Nice pressure right there.
Second big defensive stop there, and now they will have to finish it off if they can. 4th down and 11. First time Hollister has had to go for it here tonight. With 1:55 and counting left to go in the ballgame, and they're wasting some valuable time getting the play call in. They've got trip receivers to the left. They've lost 15 seconds off the clock up to this point. Kalovich up under center. He will roll to his left, looking downfield. Still nobody open in the end zone. Now Kalovich wants to run, and he is going to be forced to launch one into the back corner, and it's over the head of the intended receiver. Kalovich, a great athletic move with the defender hanging all over him, was able to get the pass away.
I think there's a penalty on the Wildcat sideline.
Way over there by the down marker. The intended receiver was Rankin, I believe. It may have been Bertrand, but the ball was over his head.
They wave off the flag.
So, that time, they're still conferring out in the middle of the field. We wait for the official signal. And they had an illegal forward pass because Kalovich had already crossed the line of scrimmage because he had started to turn the corner and then he tried to back away from the defender, and when he turned that corner he stepped across the line, then he backtracked and launched it.
You can't do that. He had pressure in his face, tried to make a play, and the Wildcats come up big on 4th down. They get the football back, 1 minute, 34 seconds to go in this football game, up 35-20. What a game tonight we've watched this far.
94 seconds on the clock. Hollister has 1 timeout remaining. Still waiting to see where they're spotting the football. Looks like they're going to put it back down at the 16. So,
I believe the Tigers can stop it one time.
So it's back to ball security again. Cassville double tight, and Bodie Rose takes a knee. That will put the clock back in motion, and Hollister, are they going to stop it or are they going to let it tick?
They're going to let it go.
Yep, they're down by 9, and the 1 timeout is all they have, so they know they can't really do anything about it. And Cassville has to snap it a couple of more times, and they're going to start off 2022 1-0.
Go on the road and get a big victory down at Hollister. A great way to start this season.
Play clock down to 10, and we're under a minute now on the game clock. Wildcats will let it tick down as close as they can. Now with 3-2, they take the snap, take a knee. They'll have to snap the ball one more time to secure the victory here on the road to open up the season.
Congratulations to these players. Hey, first game for head coach Clay Weldy and his staff. Congratulations to them as well, coming on the road, in a track meet to start. I mean, this game was back and forth. This was a tough football game, and the Wildcats really showed everybody something tonight.
Yeah, we knew Hollister had a really good offense coming back, but we didn't really envision at the time that Cassville was going to have to try to outscore them, but that's what it looked like in that first quarter.
Right. It was, we thought who was going to have the ball last is the way it was looking, but what a game. Great win for the Wildcats.
One more snap, and that's going to do it. Cassville comes on the road and wins 35-26. And they will be at home next Friday night, the first of 2 in a row at Wildcat Stadium. The Hound Dogs coming to town, and then following that up, week number 3 against Seneca. But a big road win to open up the season here for Cassville, 35-26. And the Wildcats start the year 1-0. We're going to take a break and then be back with the post game and to go over all the stats. Get a word with Coach Clay Weldy. Big road win here to open the season. Wildcats 35, Hollister 26. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Hollister. The Wildcats come on the road in week number 1 and beat Hollister 35-26. It's now time for the Law Office of John A. Learight postgame show. The Law Office of John A. Learight wants everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk, and to call 417-847-2177. That's 847-2177. Well, it was 21-20 at the half after both teams were slugging away at each other through the first quarter. In fact, we had 4 touchdowns scored, 2 apiece in the first quarter of play, and Cassville was leading by 1 at the break. Then the Wildcats struck first in the second half as they had a 10-play, 74-yard drive, took 4.5 minutes off the clock. Bodie Rose hooked up with Garrett Ewing on a 46-yard pass, and the Wildcats added the PAT from Littlefield and opened up an 8-point advantage. But then Hollister answered with 56 seconds left to go in the third on a 67-yard run from KK Conway. 2-point conversion was no good. Hollister was trying to get that missed extra point from the first half back, and the 2-point conversion failed. Cassville hanging on to a 2-point lead, and then 10:47 left to go in the football game. A 6-play, 51-yard drive, and it was capped off by a 29-yard run by Trey Wilson, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. PAT by Littlefield made it 35-26. Then Cassville's defense comes up with a huge stop. Hollister held the ball for nearly the final 6 minutes. They started back at their own 5, dug themselves out of a hole with a couple of big plays, and got it all the way down inside the Cassville 15, but the Wildcats come up with a couple of huge stops. They also got benefited by a Hollister penalty, and they hold the Tigers off the scoreboard, and they win at 35-26.
Lots of offense, big defensive stands. There's so much to talk about that you can sit and talk about with this game. Individual performances, a running back who kind of wasn't probably supposed to start this game.
Tuesday he wasn't.
And
he was looking at defense only and then fill in the backfield.
And puts it in the end zone 3 times. There's just the storylines. You know, we talked about it on the way down here, man. We're banged up. You know, some of the guys that we talked about not available tonight, and it's just, you know, coming into this game, didn't have a real good feeling about it, just to be totally honest. And once the game got going and you start looking at these guys, and like we talked about in pregame, we have to learn these guys every year, and opportunities when the guys that weren't the man last year, whatever you want to say, when they get opportunities and they come in and they perform and they excel and come away with a big win like this, man, that's great to see.
Well, this is one of many games in the Big 8 tonight. A lot of crossover action, and all are final now. Reed Spring defeated Monette 20-0. Seneca over Aurora 44-8. Mount Vernon beats McDonald County, so the Mustangs lost a lot to graduation, but people were still thinking they hadn't fallen off the face of the earth. But Mount Vernon, with so many young kids playing last year, they got kind of beat up a little bit, but it's a learning experience and a growing experience. Well, the Mountaineers come out and win 31-7 tonight. Rogersville beats East Newton in a back and forth 35-22. Lamar roughs up Marshfield 48-0. Nevada blasts Catholic 62-7. And Cassville wins here tonight 35-6. So all final in week number 1 of the Big 8.
Yeah, but week number 1 is over. It's hard to believe. I can't believe it's already here. Now it's done.
Got started a little late for a few schools, including
right,
our game here.
Right, but now, we're on to week 2.
And the funny thing was, back Tuesday and Wednesday, they weren't saying anything about weather issues on Friday night. They were saying the heat would return, but the next thing you know, you got thunderstorms building up, lightning strike here and there, delayed a few games, but everything got completed. And we didn't have to worry about any postponements. And week number 1 is now in the history books, and we're on to week number 2.
It's in the books, and the Wildcats are in the right side of the win-loss column. And again, congratulations to not only these kids for coming on the road week 1. It's tough to win on the road anyway, but to this coaching staff, new head coach, staff, familiar faces down there, but there's some new ones blended in too. Congratulations to them too, getting off on the right foot.
Well, you look at the game stats, and a lot of offense tonight as Cassville racked up over 380 yards, Hollister over 480 yards of offense, and the two teams combine, of course, for the 61 points here this evening. Hollister unofficially 39 carries for 374 yards, 9 of 20 through the air for 109 for a total of 483. Tigers picked up 19 first downs, 1 turnover on an interception. They were penalized 6 times for 50 yards and punted 3 times for a 37-yard average. Cassville 41 carries for 281 yards. They completed 5 of 10 passes for 108 for a total of 389. Wildcats with 17 first downs, 2 fumble lost, and they were penalized 7 times for 39 yards and punted twice for a 48-yard average. Some of the individual numbers for Hollister: 2 guys go over 100 yards rushing tonight. Blake Russell, unofficially 162 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead the way for Hollister. Colton Hale had 102 yards on 15 carries. And then K.K. Conway, 78 yards on 3 carries and a touchdown. Blake Russell also had 3 catches for 29 yards. So he was nearing 200 yards of total offense. And then the big tight end, I neglected to remember his first name, Zach. Zach Noose had 2 catches for 36 yards to lead the way receiving for the Tigers. For Cassville, Bodie Rose, the sophomore quarterback, runs for 150 yards tonight on 16 carries. Bryson Jacobson, 31 yards on 10 carries. Trey Wilson, 80 yards on 14 carries and 3 touchdowns. And Hernan Hernandez had 1 carry for 20 yards. And Garrett Ewing, 5 catches for 108 yards and 2 more scores.
That's impressive. Those are impressive numbers. And it was fun to watch. And listen, people may look at the defensive numbers of the Wildcats tonight. Yeah, they gave up a lot of yards and points. Let me tell you something. What that team brought, talent. They had speed, talent. Wildcats in the end able to contain it. And, hey, all that matters is how many points you get and how many points you give up, and the Wildcats come out victorious tonight.
35-26, Cassville with the win. We will continue on with the Law Office of John A. Leewright postgame show after this break. We're going to have a word with the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Clay Weldy, right after this. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talent Network. We continue on with the Law of John A. Leewright post-game show. The Law of John A. Leewright, the professional believe in your rights of fair hearing, represent the utmost expertise, integrity, excellent. For the law is out at 847-2177-847-21. But he said, now he the post-game head coach of Cassville, Coach Clay Weldy. Coach, congratulations, Cats open the season with an impressive 5-26 win for the All-Star Sammy. Well, no, Hunter had most of the experience. They had 2 all-conference performances. They're back in their run back with Russell. Wildcats came in battling a lot of adversity before you got here, because when you visited back earlier for the pregame show, you gave me some lineup that got turned aside between early weekend night. A lot of kids got dinged up in practice. Some kids playing with these tonight. I tell you, it's a Wildcats went out ready to do that.
Yeah, I'm proud now. Our seniors just unbelievable. We had Jake Anthony, this is a big part in the last couple of years. He's out tonight. Hendricks out. Kyle Bailey's out. Berger tried to go tonight. He went a little bit. He went out most game. We had a few of the kids playing some bumps and bruises. Our kids, we talk all the time about being next man up. And this group that tonight, they're fighting. They did exactly what they do, and I'm so proud of them. They did what I thought possible they could do tonight. And it's unbelievable how they had tonight and how hard they went physical and how well we played with all the adversity.
It's on the board early in this football game to take that early, and that's important to do anytime you're on the road, but especially Big 8.
Yeah, we got to stop early. Coach Glywell all week was pulling his hair out because of all the they had and their quarterback, and we're trying to get really set up 17, such a good player and a quarterback player, and You know, we get a stop early. We have a big punt. Hernandez had some big moments tonight, special team-wise and blocking and playing defense. He had a big return. And then, you know, Trey Wilson, a kid who played receiver the last 2 years. Summer, I moved to running because of injuries on Tuesday, and he has a huge game. Touchdown right off the bat. And so, you know, we had a lot of kids that were asked to move around and play different positions, and no one argued. They just went and did it and succeeded tonight.
Yeah, Jeremy and I talked because when you visited earlier in the week, Trey was just going to be a defense starter and was going to fill in the battle. Well, he ended up having to be the guy back there with Jacobson, and he's running for 3 touchdowns tonight.
Yeah. I mean, you tell you a kid that, you know, I was saying played receiver all summer. He played no back at any point until today, and played receiver all last year. So for him to do that's pretty remarkable, and it tells you what the kind of senior we had this year, that there won't be anything to be for the betterment of the team. And so I'm so proud.
Yeah, Wilson and Jake combined for over 100 yards rushing, and then Ewing, a guy, comes up with 5 catches and 2 touchdown receptions, and also over yards receiving.
You know, Garrett is a kid we lost last year, and he's an explosive player and gets some catches tonight. They were in big moments too when he caught, and then turned them into touchdowns, had some versions, and had a catch on third down that set up a 4th and short that we ended up converting and later. So he had some big plays, big moments as well.
Your sophomore quarterback, Bodie Rose, runs for nearly 150 yards, throws for 100, had a big night running the offense for you. He gets his first chair at the varsity level, and boy, he performed very well tonight.
Well, Bodie's a very explosive athlete. He got a future. He had a tonight. I was proud of him. He's tough yards. And still a leading kid that we were trying to defense all year. Had a lot of defense tonight, and played special teams because of injuries. He fought through it and threw the ball very well as a sophomore. First throw of the night was kind of rough. And on the sound, I want to know. He said, "Yes, it is. I'm doing very well."
Defensively, come up with 2 big stops right in the first half. You keep off the scoreboard, and then at the end of the game when they're trying to get in striking, he comes up 2 huge stops right there.
You know, and we saw last jamboree, we had each scrimmage defense miss on somebody, keep it in the other zone. It happened tonight. It did for Stephens a huge stop because against the lead, don't have that we're able to maintain. And then we're thinking that we could actually, you know, get some clock out and got guys out everywhere, guys being plugged in. That our staff did a great job. Coach Lyle and Coach Woods and Coach Allen and Coach Woods, they could actually have multiple guys ready to know this and these athletes and stop.
We always talk about 3 aspects of the offense, defense, special teams. Your special teams standing out. Your return crew. How many yards or how much you ended up with? We get the stats. It was a bunch on returning both punt returns and kick returns.
Yeah, and we had all extra points, so 2 important conversions there, and we had good positioning return game. You know, we had a fumble on 1 wrong return, but beside that,
that was a tough bounce. Normally that ball's out of bounds.
This happens, but yeah, told our kids all year we get in that 3rd phase of the game. That's a big part of our of winning the games, and tonight we did.
Well, I know, very impressive win started, but the adversity you faced, it has to be that much more satisfying, because that goes to show you that these kids, they know you had to move kids, like you said, around a lot, different positions, but that proves that they're paying attention and knowing what they've got to do, because if they are called to do something on night, they stepped up and did it tonight.
Yeah, and you never know until you play the game how it's going to be, but our veterans stepped up, and they led so great and helped kids, and even the guys who were injured on the sidelines talking and leaders. This group is a big senior class, 16 of them, and told them all year, we'll be as good as we're going to lead. And tonight, we were a reflection of them. They were such good leaders that it led a game like this where it was adversity, and we still found a win.
The way this game started out, too, we were wondering there for a while in that first quarter, the scoreboard and my stats should be able to hold everything. It was back and forth.
Yeah, you know, and both D kind of settled in a little bit. You know, both sides had some athletes making plays, and sometimes, you know, stop that. You know, you have a great play, and at 17 broke one time. He broke 4 tackles on a touchdown run. I mean, he's there. He's a good athlete. Made a great play. You know,
I talked in the pregame how aloof he is.
Yeah, and I told you he's like a River Phelps clone. You know, he was scared all weekend. You know, they split him out there with the ball to him. But our athletes did a good too, and we made some plays, and thought our receivers and our line blocked really well, and allowed us to have some lanes for our backs to carry the ball yards.
It's got to be satisfying for you and your staff, too. You had some change on there, and to be able to get these come out and perform the way they did tonight to a race win on the road as well.
I'm our staff. We got a pretty young staff, 4 guys to our program. They've stepped up and did a good job. I should be the coaches, Perriman and under coaches. The guys all in the unit. Just what we do, coach, about that. There's no egos. Everyone's in the direction. So hope kind of else next week, see what happens.
Yeah, the next 2 week home games, and it's teams that play each other tonight. You have next week at home, and send the week, send be to night for the Hound Dog next.
Yeah, our work's kind of known. They have a new coaching staff and a new system, so I just make sure we need that come back.
Hound Dogs lost a lot of players graduated too.
They knew one of those guys have graduated, but I expect, you know, didn't come out, be hard and be a tough game home, and we got to get back to work. We get some guys healthy, hopefully some guys back.
That's one thing. Anybody who's been around very long, you can't forward figure out what you're going to do next week, because every night you better be ready to go.
This league is, I think, that's small in the state, and probably for the big conference.
So, Coach, congratulations on the victory here tonight. We have time in the post game, have a trip home. I know it's late night. We get a little bit with some weather to start. You get your kids and get out. We look forward to catching with you next week. Hey, Coach, well, did you join here? The Wildcats entered over Hollister 35-26. They host Aurora next Friday night at Wildcat Stadium. We'll take 1 week and be back to wrap things up here. Back at Hollister, about ready to wrap things up here tonight for our first broadcast of 2022. The Wildcats win tonight over the Hollister Tigers, start off the season 1-0. Time for our post-game honors that we hand out each every week. We'll start off with our hard hit of the night. Our hard hit of the game is brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix. For any and all of your mix, stone, or aggregate needs, stop by Berry County Ready Mix at any of their convenient locations in Sheldon, Cassville, or Eagle Rock. You can call the Cassville office 847-3200 for a free estimate today. Now, early in the game, Riley Ruark got his name thrown into the pot for the hard hit, but then he was overtaken in the second half by Jared Reynolds on a big stick on receiver out in the open, and Jared Reynolds, the hard hit of the night.
Yeah, great play. He made a great read as a receiver, and I believe that was Reynolds that caught the football. Tough tackle. Reynolds struck him up, wrapped him up, put him into the ground. It's pretty much a textbook tackle. Put the on him pretty well. Nice job.
Our Wildcat player of the game is brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main, Cassville. Great prices and service is what you'll find at Fast. Stop by today, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. We had so many players step up tonight. You had Hernandez in the kicking game, not only the ball but also returning the ball. Trey Wilson, not even thinking early in the week he was going in the backfield. He ends up rushing 80 yards and 3 touchdowns. Garrett Ewing, a little ding to catches 108 yards, 5 passes and 2 scores. But our player of the game to Bodie Rose, unofficially 150 yards running, 108 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns. He also got a pick on defense, guided the offense, and had a couple of nice returns on the kicks as well. And Bodie Rose ends up getting our player of the game.
Has a total yardage out there tonight. Young player, but offensively just fearless out there. Ran exceptionally hard. Just had a really nice game. But you're right. This was a tough one. Tonight, a lot of times it's not as tough to pick one because you just stand out. But tonight there were several guys that stepped in and played good football tonight.
Yeah, it was all place tonight, and a lot of guys moved around and still performed at a high level here. Again, our player of the game brought by Trip Bodie Rose, Fat Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Whether for fuel, grocery, out, drinks, snacks, or more, we got it all at the very best price. 104 South Main, Cassville, Fast Trip, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Well, at home next week after the long trip down to Hollister. In fact, the next 2 weeks there at Wildcat Stadium. The Round Dogs come in next Friday night. It's followed up by the Seneca Indians, as we mentioned. Beats Aurora tonight. Ellie Field in Aurora, 44-8. The Hound Dogs come in first. They return most of their experience on the line, as you heard Coach Wells say. They've got a quarterback. They've got a couple of new guys coming out of that field. So this one is not going to sell with them. After beat on their home field by Seneca, they're going to be ready for week 2. Wildcats will have weekend to enjoy this victory tonight over Hollister, and they're going to have to Monday start preparing Hound Dogs.
Well, and Coach Weldy, he's got this worked. With his roots in Aurora. He's been in Cassville long enough to Wildcat, I'll assure you that.
Would be a little more interesting. His dad was still coaching in Aurora, but there was a coaching change in Aurora as well.
That's right. But this one's going to be special for him too, I'll assure you.
Anytime you go back and play your alma mater, it's one of those kind of mark on the calendar ones.
Absolutely.
We're looking forward to homeowner Friday night when the Hound Dogs up to town. We'll be back on the airwaves next week here on 97.7 FM, also on the KQO and also on web TV and also our streaming apps. We've got you cut all around with the broadcast, and we invite you to join us next Friday, 6:30 game, 7 o'clock kicker from Wildcat Stadium. Well, let's wrap things up tonight in Hollister. We'd like to thank all the folks from Hollister for the hospitality. Athletic Director Mike Johnson, who has get started this evening, and then here in the press box. And we thank all of our sponsors for supporting Nightcast as well. Without their help throughout the season, we can do what we do, bring these games each and every Friday night. So all sponsors, you'll hear them mentioned again here in the wrap-up as we sign off. Please let these folks know that you appreciate the support of broadcast and Cassville High School Athletics. Thanks to Coach Wells for coming by and visiting with us and also helping us out during the week, getting us prepared for the game starters and lineup and also pregame coaches show. And we'll be visiting with him again next week. Jeremy and Todd, we appreciate your help again this year. As I said in the outset, I begin our 20th season broadcasting Wildcat football together, and you've been with us for over half time running the web TV for us. And, we're back in a week, or the season, I should say, off and running. Back at home next Friday night.
Yeah, the worry and Todd, the gnashing of teeth on what Todd's so worried about the game. And actually, but I feel so much better now after the Wildcat pulled that out and well out here tonight.
We Wildcats are unable to play because of injury. Good luck this week, getting prepared to get back, and hopefully we'll see some of the next Friday night home opener there in Cassville. The Wildcats take a hand dog. Let's wrap things up. Before we go, they'd like Janet Wayne keeping things back to the studios in Aurora for us. They monitor things on game night, make sure anyone has any trouble to help us get these games out of their way, so we always get their help as well. Thanks to all the folks there at Sports, sales folks, traffic people, a lot getting ready for these high school football games each and every year. Getting the sponsorship sold and getting everything in the right place. We've been working like crazy a couple of weeks in preparation for week number 1. Once you get through the first week, things kind of right into a nice routine. But, everyone did a great job. It's ready to go tonight.
Janet asked during the broadcast when we had the giveaway, said there were a ton of phone calls that called in for that.
Thanks to all of our listeners.
Listening.
We appreciate them as well. There you go. Proof positive.
Proof positive.
That we're not putting them all to sleep.
Right.
Well, we back next Friday at Cassville taking on the Hound Dogs. Tonight, once again, our final score, the Cassville Wildcats 35, the Hollister Tigers 20. Speaking for Jeremy and Todd, this is Sammy Clapping. Thanks for joining us, and good night from Taney County.